Do it. We do it live. And I think we're live. Say something. All right. We're live. We're live, little Joan. And I am fried. Fried live. That's what I should call this stream. Sat all day out in the sun. Let me tell you about my week. That's how I usually start this thing. Um, Man, last week was the Pine Barrens Makers Fest. I know, I'm still talking about that. It was so crazy. Thursday, I went to East Brunswick to do a local access cable TV show with a Rutgers professor on folklore. So he asked me a bunch of questions. That was nice. Saturday, I went to the Mercer County Library Book Fest. That was nice. I did a little networking. I got to catch up on my networking. I got so many business cards. And today I went to Bridgeton for the second half of the Fall Fest. That was very nice. There's a store down there called Nerd Collective that now has my books. So that was good. They bought some books. I had churros. I don't think for the first time, but it kind of felt like the first time. And I gave myself diabetes eating those. Man, they had a lot of sugar on them. Holy cats. I think I still taste the sugar, and I've eaten since then. Whew. They had a ton of sugar. No chocolate, no cinnamon, it was just sugar and dough. Sugar and dough. They weren't bad. They were hot. I don't think I would have them again. Not those. Maybe at a fancy Mexican restaurant. What else? Whew. Oh, and then I got Chinese food, and that was awesome. JEC is here. Hi, hi, hi. Hi, 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 JEC. Welcome to the live stream. So let me wake myself up. Oh, I'll steal Scott Adams' bit. It's a simultaneous sip, everybody. Yummy. Anyhow, that was my week. Pretty peaceful. The girlfriend was a little under the weather this week, sadly. So I was mostly at home trying to get stuff done. I did yard work, which I hate. God, I hate yard work. Let me tell you something. If you get a house, the yard work sucks, Indie Phantom is here. However, the budget was rumored around 175 million. Did I come into the middle of middle of a conversation? Did I miss the first half of this? What were we talking about just now? Simultaneous sippy dippy. Let's get into the box office. Indie Phantom's right here. You're right on top. You're right on top of this. Are you talking about one battle after another for the 175 mil? Oh, because that's not going to be a happy time. If Paul Thomas Anderson spent 175 million on this stupid movie, 140. That's pretty close. 140 million dollars on this movie? That doesn't sound like a good idea. No house, so no yard work. Oh, yeah, that's the advantage. Oh God, I hate yard work. I'm bad at it, and I put it off as long as I can, and then it's 10 times the work, and then I just hate it. I hate it so much. But I think I pulled a muscle doing it on top of everything else. I Indie Phantom, one bomb after another. Yeah, it looks that way. 48 million, 48.5 million. Celebrating Antifa. That's what everybody's saying. Man, X was blowing up about this movie. Multiple people saying, I walked out of this thing. Like, holy crap. And these were people who, they review movies, they walked out of it. I can't wait for the Nerdrotic review on this. He went to see it. But 140 million and it starts at 48 worldwide. Yeah, I think that's done. Next week, you get 24 mil. So that puts you at 72. Indie Phantom, yeah, it's been an apartment dweller. Been an apartment dweller forever. I have a fear of apartments. Like, my fear is somebody else is going to light the place on fire and do something stupid. That's my fear. So, if I If I go down in flames, I want it to be my fault, damn it. So next week it'll be like 72, 80 million. Week after that, might get to 80, 90. Yeah, like 80, somewhere between 90, 95, and I think that's about it. Yeah, you might squeak to just above 120, but that's not enough. Not in the gross. You really need to do this. This needs to be like 280. It ain't gonna come anywhere close to 280. No way this cracks 200. I don't think it'll crack 140. Indie Phantom. The action is supposed to be good, and the chase scene, but it's woker than woke. Interesting. I'm very torn about that because I love action. Well, I'll catch it on a streaming platform, maybe. Yeah, that's the one saving grace of the movie. Apparently, the people who were defending it said, "Oh, you got to stay for the last scene. The last scene makes up for it somehow." Indie Phantom. Yeah, I did have those fears, and people have nearly burned some of my spots down. Stupid retirees, really? See, I always think it would be like some not someone retired, but somebody's just like a chain smoker working some manual labor gig, and he just hates his life and drinks too much and smokes too much and passes out with a cig in his hand. But I guess today, really it's most of those guys don't smoke anymore. They're vapors. So, but why the hell would you make this movie and not make it an all-out comedy? It looked like a comedy. Indie Phantom. Yeah, DiCaprio also said to be hilarious and good as usual. Well, he's always good. He's just amazing. I wish they'd put him in a decent thing. It doesn't seem like there are many good scripts floating around. I mean, people have been saying there are no good scripts in Hollywood since I started writing scripts, like in the 80s. But Jesus, there really are no good scripts in Hollywood. And I'll tell you why. Because they have erased every good writer, I think. There's no one left. No one left. Not really. I mean, the Russo brothers were okay. They were pretty good. Maybe they got a couple of guys that behind the scenes I don't know about, but Indie Phantom. Sean Penn is said to be a total caricature of a neo-Nazi. Okay. Not sure why that's even in the movie. Is he supposed to be like well, I guess Neo. No, he's not an actual one. I keep forgetting I can't say that word on YouTube. God damn it, YouTube. Give it up. Weird. I mean, Paul Thomas Anderson seems to like casting Sean Penn. Sean Penn's not a bad actor either, but God, this is the scripts. I think maybe Hollywood has given too much power to the directors creatively, and you can't get anything made unless your star is hitched to a director or you become one, like Shane Black did. Shane Black became a director. Indie Phantom. Tony Goldwyn is in it, and his last gig was hosting the Democratic National Convention. Well, there you go. Maybe this is the way Hollywood goes down. It just, it's just everybody hiring their friends, and the Obamas hosting things. Indie Phantom. Penn plays the head of ICE, basically. Oh, but it's not ICE? Couldn't you just use ICE in the movie? Like, that's not a copyright thing, is it? You could use ICE in the movie. What is the government gonna sue you for? What exactly? They don't make a profit. Indie Phantom. I like Penn, but this smells like the same deal as Mark Hamill in The Long Walk. Yeah, well, he was really miscast. I mean, Mark Hamill is just he's too small and waifish to be an evil guy, I think. Doesn't really feel like a general. Sean Penn's got a lot of versatility to him. He might be able to pull it off. He's done some crazy roles. He has skills. Mark Hamill doesn't have that many skills. He was basically a pretty boy back in the day. Corvette Summer, anybody? That's why he was cast as Luke Skywalker. He was pretty. But he didn't work much after Star Wars. Not really. That's why, and then ended up in voice work. But yeah, sounds like this movie's dud. Indie Phantom, yeah, don't think they call it ICE, but the rebels are blowing up S and freeing illegal immigrants in the 80s? JC Hamill is just lucky he had a voice work to fall back on after he went through twink death. Yeah, it's a shame. I think this could have been a good comedy. A solid enough comedy. A former revolutionary battles to save his adopted teenage daughter from the clutches of an old enemy. It looks funny. The scenes I saw looked funny. I kind of thought I might see this, but now I'm kind of like, oh, great. Glorifying communism. Indie Phantom. Penn is pretty awesome. This looks more like he was in... this looks more like he was in Casualties of War. People are commenting on his weird walk. Well, I think part of the problem, too, is no one wants to go to the theater anymore because it's just better watching this stuff at home. And the bar has just gotten higher and higher to go to the movies. Do I go to the movies, pay all that money, get in a car and blah, 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 and only see it once, and God forbid I had to go to the bathroom in the middle of it and I missed 5 minutes. Apparently it takes place in present day except for flashbacks set around 2008. Oh, really? See, I thought it took place in the 80s. Oh. Weird. And if it's, a confusing movie or complicated movie, you kind of want that option to wind some scenes back. Or just go, what did he say? I don't remember. You wind it back. Can't do that in a theater. Indie Phantom, the novel was based on was set in the 80s. Oh, that's why I heard that then, probably. So, like, the bar has gone so low, unless the movie's like, I gotta see this in the theaters, you just go, can wait for this. This is definitely if there's any problem with it at all. Oh, that reminds me. There's a website I found out about today called Worth It or Woke, or Worthy or Woke, or Worth It or Woke, I think. Yeah, Worth It or Woke. So, let's see if I can. I think you might have to be a member to see these. Oh, I don't want to see this one. Not this one. 1 star for Alien Earth. Okay. So, you got to be a member to see it. Damn it. Does it cost money to become a member? Ad-free membership. Okay. I should have went to this early, but this looks like a fun website to check out. I'm going to put this see if I can get in this for next week maybe. Otherwise I do it now, but I have to put in my info. Indie Phantom, but PTA brought it to present day. Yeah, I want to pause, rewind, and keep my fat ass in snacks that I can't afford. JC, watching the trailer now, Penn's character is literally named Sam Lockjaw? Is it? That's lame. Indie Phantom, the site has a good concept. Yeah, I'm interested to read some of these. Let's see if some of the other reviews are up. I just want to see one of the reviews. This is the review for him, or are they all behind a paywall? Yeah, it looks like they're all behind a paywall, I guess. So, oh, they do have stars reviews here. So the Long Walk got 3, the Senior got 4, Weapons got 3. That's an appropriate, I think, rating. Indie Phantom, yeah, there is also a character named, can I even say this? Jungle P word for vagina. Indie Phantom, on the nose writing. Sounds like it. Freakier Friday got 2.5. Naked Gun got 3. A lot of mid-range things here. The Senior got 4 though. Kind of surprised on the Senior. So yeah, this looks like a total flop. Maybe now though, actually rank Paul Thomas Anderson where he belongs, somewhere kind of like middle range, closer to the bottom than the top of directors. I mean, he's got, I think the problem is he's leaning into dramedies. So he throws in comedy when there's a moment, and then throws in drama when he thinks it's appropriate, and then he's got a mishmash of drama and comedy instead of something that could be funny. But I don't know, maybe I'll check this one out, but not for any kind of real money. Now here, this next one is a movie I know you all want to see. Gabby's Dollhouse, the movie. Oh boy, toy-related movie that I've never even heard of. Gabby's Dollhouse. That's number 2. So One Battle After Another did 22.4 million. Gabby's Dollhouse did 13.7. Well, that's it. Hollywood is done. Pack it in, everybody. Jesus. What the hell? Last week it was 2 weeks anime at the top. Now it's toys, and then on other weeks it's been video games. Do you have anything? Do you remember you used to do stories, Hollywood? You used to hire playwrights. Maybe that's what they need to go back to. Although those guys, not exactly based writers, I would say. Man, you need to hire some writers, Hollywood. Holy cats. Gabby's Dollhouse, the movie. This looks horrific, by the way. I did see the trailer for this. I don't remember if I reviewed it or not. I think I did it in one of those triple trailer dealies I do. Kristen Wiig is the villain. Enough said. I mean, she is, it's a kid's movie, so her cartoony exterior works for it, but it's like some dollhouse that everybody wants to get their hands on, and there's magical dolls in it. Yeah, it looks, it's a kid's movie, so I guess it could be retarded, but I wouldn't make movies this stupid for kids. Gee, I wonder why kids are stupid. Oh, look at the movies we make for them. Indie Phantom, PTA will win Best Picture. What? Rotten Tomatoes declaring this the second coming, and it is his best opening, which is shocking. No way. All right, I'm going to look that up. Let's see. See if they'll list his movies. All right. Yeah, it is his best opening. Wow. Well, thought he had more movies under his belt. What the hell was Phantom Thread? That was a close second. Indie Phantom, Boogie Nights didn't even open well, but it was a video hit. Yet that didn't even come up. I did like Boogie Nights, but Boogie Nights was funny. I would call that a comedy, at least a satire. Well, looks like... Oh, that's a total gross. Opening weekend, $50,000. Yeah. But it was a movie that only cost $15 million. So it did okay. Thought it did better than that, but I guess not. Indie Phantom. Phantom Thread is the only PTA I haven't seen and looked boring. I don't even know what that's about. But Boogie Nights was very funny, I thought. What's the name? Riley, what's his face? Riley was in it. Mark Wahlberg was funny in it because he's stupider than a box of rocks in it. Everybody was kind of a dope in that. That's why I loved it. Indie Phantom, in fairness, the new one is said to be mostly comedy. Well, maybe it's a return to form. It did look fun. The scene I saw looked very funny with Del Toro as his mentor, going through this elaborate ritual to re-hide himself. It was very funny. JEC, Phantom Threads is about a dressmaker or something. Yeah, but this Gabby Dollhouse, you don't want to see this. You just don't want to see it. Number 3, dropping from number 1, is that anime movie, Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba, the movie, Infinity Castle, Part 7 of 19, Japanese cartoon monster, guys with swords, girls in schoolgirl uniforms running around. I mean, that might as well be the actual title. It's a very long... They made a bunch of movies, too. So it finally drops down to 7.1 million. Still doing pretty good. I mean, that's not bad for a third week these days. Indie Phantom, DiCaprio being compared to the dude from Lebowski. JEC, There Will Be Blood is probably his best movie. Neck and neck with Boogie Nights. I do like that movie. That's a very serious movie. I drink your milkshake, doggy. What do you want? You have to get down? All right, you're out. You're out. I don't want to hear you whine. Number 4 is The Conjuring Last Rites. I mean, it's still in the top 5. 6.8 million and change. Could have taken 3. Number 5. Now this is... Friday was much higher, but this not doing well. The Strangers Chapter 2. 5.9 million. This is another slasher movie. Quite frankly, I'm surprised it did the business it did. But it is Halloween season just about, so you could see it doing better. But like, it's just, I think it just goes to show nobody's going to these damn movies. Indie Phantom, Boogie Nights, Hard 8, and Magnolia are his best, in my opinion. Like those. Yeah, all his movies didn't come up when I searched them. All right, let's just... Paul Thomas Anderson. There he is. Mr. Anderson. Let's go back. Cigarettes and Coffee. That was okay. I mean, I guess he just did part of that. Hard 8 I didn't see. There's Boogie Nights. Fiona Apple Across the Universe. I saw that music video. It's okay. It's not as hot as that one where she's in the bathtub. Indie Phantom, They Should Wait Until Halloween. Gives him a good month. Oh man, is he married to Fiona Apple? It looks like he did a bunch of her music videos. Amy Mann. There's Magnolia. You know, I still haven't seen Magnolia. I've seen a lot of clips from it. It does look kind of good. SNL. Punch Drunk Love? Oh, that was that Adam Sandler movie where he tried to win an Oscar, I guess. Indie Phantom. I really don't like Punch Drunk Love. Isn't that where Adam Sandler's like punching his girlfriend or something? Couch. Mattress Man commercial. There's There Will Be Blood. That I like. He dated Fiona for a while. Ah, says Indie Phantom. Magnolia is cool. It does look cool. The Master. I like The Master. I wouldn't call it great, but I did kind of like it. Mostly just because Joaquin Phoenix is just a maniac in it. Inherent Vice. Don't remember that. Junjun. Don't remember that. A bunch of Radiohead videos. Haim videos. Phantom Thread. There's that. Set in the 1950s London, Reynolds Woodcock is a renowned dressmaker whose fastidious life is disrupted by a young, strong-willed woman, Alma, who becomes his muse and lover. No, thank you. That sounds boring as F. Indie Phantom, The Master is great acting. Yeah, it really is. JC, The Master is okay. Step down from There Will Be Blood. Yeah, I like There Will Be Blood better. It's sometimes, you know, when you get a really good actor, I kind of hate the what's the name, the Scientology character. God, he makes me mad in the movie. It's like, but I know that's just the acting. JEC, I like Inherent Vice, but mostly for the soundtrack. Indie Phantom, Licorice Pizza eats. See? Oh, he must be friends with the guys in Haim, I guess. There's Licorice Pizza. Yeah, I didn't want to see Licorice Pizza. Okay. And one battle after another. Man, he does a lot of music videos. Now, here's his, let's see, his writing credits. Where are the writing credits? Oh, try again. Hold on. Yeah, so he wrote all his movies. I think he needs help. I do. I think if you're going to go for comedy, you need a comedian on board. At least one. Weird, though. You know, he's got Leonardo DiCaprio. He does sort of a comedy. He had Punch Drunk Love. He had Adam Sandler. He does a serious movie. But that's Hollywood. That's Hollywood. Let's do the exact opposite. Dropping from 2 to 6 in its second week is Him. Ooh, dropping by 72%. Ouch. This movie's cooked. What was the money on that? 3.65 mil. Oh man, this movie's so cooked. It's so done. 27 million. Just probably will scrape over that, maybe, but that's not enough. That's no bueno. I mean, I have to hand it to him for trying to do something different with that. A sports horror movie. Indie Phantom, his movies are usually overlong except Hard 8. JC, I hear Him is cringe. Him is cringe? It's supposed to be about football. How did they woke that up? Well, they woke up the NFL, so I guess that's no surprise. Shush. I tell you, Hollywood can ruin anything they put their mind to. Dropping from 5 to 7, The Long Walk. 3.4 million. In its third week. I think we already determined that this one is cooked as well. Maybe not. 20 million. It's at 34. Might scrape up to 40. I don't know. Might sort of break even. Indie Phantom, him is a weird looking release, but going to see it eventually. Yeah, it looks weird. It looks like the kind of movie I'd turn off in about. As soon as it started to get weird, I'd just be like, that's this. This is where this is going. The Long Walk, I just don't even want to see. I'm so annoyed with Mark Hamill and Stephen King. I just don't want to support them. They're both too much, especially Stephen King after his dumb comments. And the follow-up to Stephen King was some post, I think it was on X, where he complained like he was being canceled, like he was, oh, woe is me, you know, a bunch of my books are being banned from a bunch of stores. Like, oh yeah, like Stephen King is in danger of being banned from libraries and bookstores in any significant way. What a joke. Indie Phantom, him has sexy cheerleaders on the poster, so that was promising. Yeah, but I bet it's a lot of nudity. I'm guessing it's a lot of nudity, but I'm not into football, so it's not really on my radar. Downton Abbey, the grand finale. Woohoo! 3.3 million. That was money in the bank. I'd have greenlit that. Indie Phantom, did you see Stephen King walking in diabetes socks to promote the film? No. Why did he walk in diabetes socks? Does he have diabetes, or was that something to do with the film? That's weird. The dumbest thing he could do right now is start promoting things with his rep after he alienated half his audience with his stupid comments. These guys don't get it. LeMay is here. Oh, a period piece. Indie Phantom, kiss my A, Downton Abbey. Well, this is money in the bank. I mean, it's dropped from 4 to 8, but you keep the budget down on this thing, it should make good money. Yeah, it's at 77 million, and it cost, we don't know. Probably didn't cost a lot because they already had the sets and the actors. They had a lot of stuff in place already. Probably didn't cost a tremendous amount of money, especially if they planned to do it, right? If they were doing the TV show and then they went right into that, smart, cost effective. I think you could probably go another movie. Indie Phantom, King had 3 theatrical releases this year. Yeah, but he's the one being canceled. Crybaby. Indie Phantom, The Life of Chuck and The Monkey were the others. I don't think those did good either. Life of Chuck looked incredibly depressing. And the Monkey looked promising, but a lot of people said it wasn't any good. But again, The Monkey is also the sort of movie you might take a look at the trailer and go, I'll wait for streaming. It's like, if the movie's too silly, or too, and that's the problem with doing comedies. A lot of comedies would be like that too. I think you don't need to see a comedy on the big screen. The only things you really need to see on the big screen would be like, Lord of the Rings, something epic, Star Wars, Western maybe, stuff that like feels big and looks cool on the screen, or something that's so popular that everybody has to see it immediately, and they only release it in theaters for the first 20 weeks, so it's the only way you're going to see it. None of these movies I I can't think of a what was the last movie that was sort of like that. Hmm. Uh. Yeah, the MCU movies are pretty much done. That I mean, the last one I can really think of, like, I had to go see Endgame. Um, Endgame was like, oh yeah, I want to go see Endgame, but gosh, there's just not really any good movies out. What else? What else? They call him OG. What the heck is this? Or they call him Og. 5.2 million. After vanishing from Mumbai's underworld for a decade, mob boss Ojas Gamhera resurfaces seeking vengeance against rival crime lords. Well, that sounds kind of cool. So, you see what they did there? They named the character with the initials O and G. I think they did this on purpose so they could have an American release, because since he's a gangster, OG stands for Original Gangster. Clever. See, the Bollywood guys are thinking. They're thinking, they're ambitious, they're doing movies that have wide appeal. This has wide appeal because it's a gangster movie. And I want to see Mumbai gangsters. I don't know about you. That's a whole new level of gangster I don't see a lot of. And that's pretty universal. I would say that's like the third subgenre of international movies. You got your horror, you got your action, that's kind of action. You got your TNA, that'll probably have some TNA in it. And you got your crime. Crime's pretty universal in the gangsters. So, if it's a gangster movie, I think you can pretty much call that universal. It's just that the gangsters are different in every culture in some way, but I would totally see this movie, 100%. If it may, and another thing about foreign movies, if they make it over here, typically they're usually the best ones. Indie Phantom saw Life of Chuck at my packed art house, made for college chicks to feel seen. I went to go see Life of Chuck. Is that Stephen King? Yes, it is. I feel seen. Are college chicks still hot, or are they all fat now? Fat and wearing masks. That's the ones I see. Jesus, I can't believe people are still wearing masks. I keep running into people who are wearing masks recently, and it makes me just want to reach up and go, give me that thing. Oh, I would love to do that. And if I can't do that in real life, I would love to shoot a scene where I just rip off somebody's face mask because I can't take it anymore. I just snap and start ripping them off and start ranting about how it's no big deal. You know, how they don't work and how everybody is breathing the same air anyway. And if anybody had, I don't know, the Black Plague, we'd all have it. Just stop wearing the mask. Just stop wearing the mask. The worst is when I'm in an outside show and someone comes up in the mask and you're just like, why? Why are you this stupid? You're outside, damn it. Indie Phantom, none of them were that hot. Oh, well. Oh, well. Number 10 is a big, bold, beautiful journey. I want to call it a big, bold, beautiful bullshit movie because that's what it looks like to me. This is in its second week. Drops from 6 to 10. Didn't open strong with 2 A-listers in the lead. 1.25 million. Drop of 62%. Done. Goodbye. Not even close to making money. $14 million worldwide. What did this abomination cost? $45 million? Not a chance. Not a chance in hell this makes money. I don't know why they greenlit this movie. This is like the kind of movie they would have greenlit in like the 40s with 2 big stars in the lead. and everybody would have went to see it, because in the 40s, everybody went to see movies and celebrities meant something. Nobody gives an F about celebrities anymore. Now, I like both the leads. I think Colin's a great actor. Margot Robbie can be okay. I mean, she was good in the Suicide Squad movie that James Gunn directed. She is great in that. She's finally plays Harley Quinn as she should be played. But I credit most of that to the script and James Gunn's direction. They finally got the character right. But other than that, like, all her movies have been pretty terrible. But I don't know to blame her or the movie, because the scripts are pretty bad. I mean, you look at the first Suicide Squad, you got that Harley Quinn movie that looks abominable. She's pretty good in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but she didn't get to do much. She's just being eye candy in that. But Babylon, which looked like a kind of a fun movie, that just bombed. So her box office is no bueno. You know, I'm really kind of surprised they didn't pick her to be the lead for the Marilyn Monroe movie a few years ago. Indy Phantom. She is way hotter in bad Suicide Squad. That is true. That is true. And now she's starting to show her age a little bit, but they're trying to transition her to, I don't know, other movies. JC, Robbie was mind-blowingly hot 12 years ago. She passes the phase where she can get by on her looks, and she's not that great as an actress. I don't know, because I don't think she's ever gotten an opportunity to really act. I don't think this is it either. I mean, this screenplay is BS, I think. I mean, let's go to the IMDb and see what chance she even had to act. I don't think you can count the Suicide Squad movies just because, and you really can't count the Barbie movie. That kind of saves their box office, So, I guess Mary Queen of Scots, if anybody saw that. Slaughterhouse Rules. I never heard of some of these movies. Legend of Tarzan. Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. I assume she was not a big player in some of those. So, yeah, here's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Yeah, Asteroid City. Maybe you could argue, I don't know, I don't think her role was very big in Asteroid City. There's like 1 million A-listers in that one. This is really the first movie where, it's kind of just her and Colin. And I lost my tab here. Oh, there we go. It's just her and Colin, so it might have given her opportunity to act, but the script looks total BS. I mean, it's two people who find a magical door to walk through and relive parts of their lives and remember, ugh. I mean, it's supposed to be a love story, but man, just looks terrible. And what a terrible title. Big, bold, beautiful journey. Yeah, people will love that. It's terrible. That's an awful, awful title. I'm big on titles. That is a big, bold, beautiful bullshit. Sorry. Sorry to curse. Sorry, everybody. Sorry, Joan. It's just bull. It's just bull. Number 11 is Spider-Man 2. Oh, I guess they re-released that for reasons. Well, it's the 11th highest grossing movie in America at 1.1 million. It's not bad. Good idea, Sony. Number 12 is Dead of Winter. 1 million. Just made a 1 million debut. Dead of Winter. Dead of Winter. Not sure on this one. JC comes off like a title Trump would have come up with. We're doing a movie. It's going to be wonderful. It's going to be probably the best movie you've ever seen. Big, bold, beautiful journey. I will be directing it. A lot of people said I am a great director. They said it couldn't be done. They looked at the script and they said, who could direct this? Not Martin Scorsese. But then Trump did it. I bet it would be doing better if Trump promoted it. He's good at that. Dead of Winter. Oh, maybe I did see this. A widow fisherwoman traveling alone through snowbound northern Minnesota interrupts the kidnapping of a teenage girl hours from the nearest town, and without phone service, she realizes she is the young girl's only hope. Oh yeah, who the hell's in this? Oh God, I forget now. Let me look it up here. Emma Thompson and Judy Greer. Yeah, so she's a fishing woman? I didn't know there were fishing women. I can't show you the... I can't let the trailer run silently in the background because I did that during a video the other day and I got flagged by YouTube, if you can possibly imagine. So, yeah. I did see the trailer for this. It doesn't look bad. Other than it's Emma Thompson, and I don't know if I believe it. I mean, the setup could work, but it feels like it's Emma Thompson versus Judy Greer. And then the man in this is just, there. JC, there's not more woke BS. LeMay, they are also called fishwives. I like that name better. Fishwives. That's kind of got a good ring to it. Fisherwoman, too long. Clunky. Don't like it. So that could be good. I mean, it started strong, I guess. Eleanor the Great. This is the directorial, not debut. I think she directed something else, but Scarlett Johansson directed this. I don't think she's in it. So, about an old woman who has to move back to New York for some reason. It looks fine. I don't know. It's not for me, though. First Spider-Man movie did $737,000. Sony, good idea, re-releasing your hits, I guess. At 13, it's Weapons, dropping from 10, $455,000 in its 8th week. Freakier Friday, right alongside at $410K. Spider-Man 3 at $400K. So, 1, 2, and 3. The Bad Guys 2, $352,000 in its 9th week. Fantastic Four: First Steps in its 10th week. Too many weeks, Disney. $243,000. Just take it away. Toy Story, a movie that's 30 years old, did almost as well at 190. Caught Stealing, somehow doing worse than there's old Spider-Man movies, 150K. The Rocky Horror Picture Show. Oh, look at that. Back for its umpteenth run, $135,000 in 15 theaters. I like the Rocky Horror Picture Show. I used to go and yell obscenities at the screen and throw toast, and I wouldn't dress up or anything like that, but I did like to curse a lot at the screen. That's fun. Shout a lot of obscenities during that movie. And get it all out of the Rocky Horror Picture Show. No one cares, and everybody laughed. Take note, woke morons out there, if you're watching. Indie Phantom still waiting for caught stealing to drop online. Well, I don't think you have to wait much longer. I will probably catch that on. That looks like one that would be okay to stream. If that shows up on Max, I'd be fine. Light of the World in its 4th week, doing 101K. JC, I went to Rocky Horror at midnight a few years back. Actually rewatched it a few weeks ago. I don't think I ever watched it like at home. That would be weird. It would be weird to watch it by myself. Who would I shout my obscenities at? Maybe with a room full of people. I have a friend. He's very conservative, always has been, and he was a police officer. He loved going. He loved shouting the most obscene things. It was funny to hear him shout it. He'd be so excited to, in certain scenes where you have to shout certain things, which I won't repeat on the stream. I would turn and look. He'd be like, oh, I can't wait to say this word. The JEC, I just like the songs on their own. Oh, I love the songs. Yeah, I play the songs all the time, especially Time Warp. Hamilton, blah. In its 4th week. I'm glad this movie kind of died. 94K. History of Sound, 89K. That movie's done. The Roses, effing cooked. $82,000. Get it out of here. Complete failure, I think. What was the final tally here? $45 million for a movie that cost, we don't know. Probably didn't cost more than $45 million. But again, that's the real profit on that's probably about 22, 23. So might have squeaked it under. Wildfire, The Legend of the Cherokee Ghost Horse. Oh, it sounds like a movie I'd be watching. Didn't do too well, though. Oh, it's like a re-release. Apollo 13, for some reason. $39,000. Cat Video Fest 2025. $5,885. And Lilo and Stitch still hanging in on 20 theaters. For a total of $75 million and change. 75.5, you could say. Pathetic. Pathetic. Next weekend might pick up with all the Halloween-y stuff, but I wouldn't know. I'm not going to see the inside of a theater or a house for a while. As soon as it hits October, I am busy. I'm not as busy as I was last year, but I am scheduled to do 20 or 21 events this October. So that's pretty solid. I didn't want to go hog wild. Last year I did 31. That was too many. I was really fried. Indie Phantom, there will be a Catfish video 2026. Who are these people? Like, what's the audience? Let's make a movie for people who don't know what YouTube is. Oh, okay. I'm sure that's enough people to cobble together an audience. Ooh, Catfest videos. That sounds like fun. Well, don't you watch them on YouTube? I'm sorry, I don't know what that is. I have to go see this movie now. It's so crazy to me. You could literally watch, and I've watched quite a few hours of cat videos. I do like, dog and cat videos where the dog and cats do something funny. But you could watch them probably for 48 hours straight before you ran out of them. There's just so many. I mean, they get to be the same after a while, but every once in a while you get a gem in there that's just, you just go, wow. Cats are out of their minds. But that is such a dead box office. Ugh, 75 million. And it's all spread out over movies that aren't very good. Like, there's really no standouts here. It's like if you just had one good movie, Hollywood, it would probably make $100 million. JC, I think Catfest is a touring thing. Some of those special event movies actually have a lower ticket price. Oh, well, that maybe might make sense then. A little more sense anyway. Indie Phantom, there are curated vids, Tony. Or these are curated cat vids, Tony. How much better could they be? I can't imagine they're that good. I just can't. And I can't imagine that there's not ones I haven't seen. And that would piss me off most of all. Even if I only paid like $2 to go see it. If I was sitting there watching it and I'm like, oh, wait a minute, I've seen this one. Yeah, the tabby falls out the window. I'd be pissed off. I'd be like, give me my money back for cat videos. Cat Video Fest 2025. All right, let's see what's going on in Fandom Pulse. Star Trek Voyager actor Robert Picardo, hosts Q&A Zoom call to raise money for St. Jude. That's not pissing anybody off. What's wrong with Robert Picardo? He's actually doing something nice. Good for him. Good for him. He's very vocal about his political views. But good on him for doing something nice. Let's see. Indie Phantom, check the cringe story on Glenn Powell not wanting to get a pic with some canceled actor. Cowardly. Wonder if it was James Franco or Armie Hammer. Oh yeah, I read that article yesterday. Indie Phantom, Picardo Retardo. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out who it is. And yeah, it's kind of lame that he wouldn't get a picture with him. Like, what exactly is going to happen to your career if you get a picture? Like, who could it be to really hurt you? Like, you know, it. Not for nothing. Is there anybody in Hollywood that has a reputation so bad? I'm trying to think. I mean, the only thing I could think of, if it was like some kind of Jeffrey Epstein situation, then I could understand. Like, then, yeah, you don't want to take a picture with that guy. But if we're just talking James Franco or Armie Hammer's being rehabilitated. Armie Hammer's coming back. Mark my words. Armie Hammer will be working again. James Franco, I'm surprised isn't back already. Most of the flap about him seems to be over and mostly forgotten. I think he can make a comeback. Aziz Ansari is finally making his comeback. He didn't even deserve to be canceled in any way. Indie Phantom, the lamest thing was telling the story. JC, it was Epstein. He's not dead and going to Hollywood parties. Stole my joke, Tony. Oh, the lag beat you. It's all in the lag, JC. Great minds, my friend. Great minds. Indie Phantom. First he says it was someone nearly canceled and then said it later it was bad. Made no sense. JC, Armie Hammer will normalize eating those hoes, damn it. Like, he said a lot of weird things. It could very well just have all been a weird attempt to get his career on track. Because who the hell was talking about Armie Hammer before all this dropped? There's a rumor going around that there's what's called a humiliation ritual that every famous person must go through before they'll let them become famous or give them the work that they desire. So maybe it was Armie's humiliation ritual that they wanted to cow him and like they got a bunch of dirt on him, but this is the dirt they released to humiliate him, to show him like, well, this is just a taste of what's gonna happen to you, but we're gonna rebuild your reputation. But if you ever step out of line, then we'll release the rest of it, and people will go, oh, that totally makes sense. JC, actual cannibal army hammer. Wouldn't it be funny if he's in a movie where he is a cannibal or has to fight cannibals? Then it'll be like, that's weird. But I don't think he actually ate anybody. Indie Phantom, he was gay for Chalamet. Next Star Media explains why it returned Jimmy Kimmel Live to its affiliate stations. Ooh, I know. Money. It's a simple calculation. They decided, his ratings just went up. All right, we'll forgive him now. Now he can make us money. Whereas before, he probably wasn't going to make them money. So, and they're paying, I'm sure, through the nose to have the ABC feed. So, yeah, I mean, they were probably looking for any excuse to put him back on the air to make him some damn money. At least now they can ride out whatever little bit of infamy Jimmy can generate in the next couple of weeks, which I don't think is much. I think it's done already. JC, he just gets off talking about eating hoes. Indie Phantom, he is playing a psycho for Yui Bowl. JC, Disney threatened to pull live sports if they didn't show Kimmel. Well, there you go. Indie Phantom, Kimmel ratings are tanking again. They were never very good. It's all dying. The TV's dying. And nobody cares about late night TV. There's no reason to watch it. I was explaining this the other day in one of my videos. Because we had no internet, late night TV was the Hollywoke hot take of its day. It was the place that you would learn about movies and stuff. Like, I remember when Arnold went on the Tonight Show to promote Terminator 2, and he showed a clip from the movie that gave away one of the key plot points of Terminator 2. I was kind of pissed, but I still went and saw the movie. But that was the only place you would see that. And we saw that on the Tonight Show before, in theaters, before it came out as a partial trailer. They would premiere trailers on those late night shows. And you would get psyched for the movie. Now you have the internet. It's the internet all day long. The moment they have a frame of footage, they put it on the internet and say, see, we're coming in 2026. JC, Kimmel might have gotten a boost the first night back, and then everyone remembered why they don't watch Kimmel, and his ratings right back down. I'm sure there's a handful of woke losers who are just turning on Kimmel just to spite everybody. But then again, that was pretty much only his fan base, LeMay, only 70-year-old boomers still watch TV. I know some 80-year-old boomers that still watch TV, and they love it. They still think it's relevant. They watch TV, some of my older relatives, like it's 1975. They haven't missed a beat. It's still 1975 in their house. And I remember those days, and it was a different time, and that's where you would get that information. Now you get that information on the internet all day long, like too much of it. You get interviews all day long. You can go on a Joe Rogan podcast and hear a 3-hour interview with just about anybody mildly important. And then you can see them on Hot Ones. You can see them on everything. There's hours and hours of footage now. Late night TV, there's nothing to offer. There's nothing. The skits aren't funny anymore since Conan's gone. Maybe once in a while Jimmy Fallon falls into something. But other than that, it's not worth it. They're not that funny. The information about the movies is totally blown. It's never saved for late night. Nobody cares if it is, because it'll literally be clipped and go right on the internet if that happens. There's nothing on TV that's of any worth or surprising anymore, except a handful of narrative shows that people still kind of like. Like SVU and the other shows. Like The Simpsons was still making money when it got bought by Disney, and now you have to get Disney Plus to see it, I guess. I don't know. I don't watch Disney anymore. I don't watch The Simpsons anymore. Or did they keep it on Fox? I don't know. I know on Disney Plus they're running all 34 Treehouse of Horror episodes in consecutive order, so that's going to be a marathon, which is a fun idea. I would watch that if I could somehow get Disney Plus for nothing. Yeah, I mean, it's a good idea, but it's not a reason to get Disney Plus. There is no reason to get Disney Plus for me. TV's dead until they start actually investing in it again. They won't until it's really dead, and I mean like falling apart. They give away, they sell off the stations, and some guy in the middle of nowhere will make a TV show simply because he can do it with his friends. That's amazing, and everybody will start watching it, and then it'll get syndicated and it'll make millions, and then for a while TV will be back, and then somebody like Disney or one of the big studios will come along and buy it up, which will be a dumb move. Perhaps his business model won't allow that. So in other words, like, I thought perhaps if I get to the point where I'm selling enough books, I could somehow put together a Piney show on my own and shoot it myself. But that would require a lot of money. But let's say I did it and then somehow got it on, some platform, and it did really well. And then maybe, let's say, one of the local TV affiliates agrees to air it for some fee, and it just blows up, and then I could sell commercial time or something like that, where TV sort of comes back. I think that will happen eventually, but it requires the people who have a stranglehold on it to let go, and they won't let go until there's no money in it. Then they'll let it go because they'll be like, oh, we're losing money, get rid of it. DC Studios CEO James Gunn claims there's more racism in the world today and hopes Peacemaker makes people question their prejudices. Jesus H. Christmas, James. No. Shut up. You and your retarded Peacemaker show. I refuse to watch it because John Cena's in it. And it looks stupid as hell. It looks stupid as F. Did you see the latest revelation with this show? Guess what, everybody? They're in a world where the bad guys from Germany won. Ooh, original. 50 years ago, that was original. So they're doing the alternate universe thing, where Peacemaker is trapped in a universe in which the bad guys from Germany somehow won. And they're extremely racist, and it's not an allegory at all for Trump supporters and white people. No. This is merely a creative decision by a man who is determined to make me hate DC Comics now. So, good luck to you. In an interview with Variety, Gunn was asked about his Peacemaker show, revealing that the second season has been taking place on Earth X, where the world is controlled by the bad guys from Germany. He was asked, how has it been for you, knowing that the twist was coming and watching the real world edge closer to Earth X, more than anybody would have anticipated? Gunn answered, I think I don't know how to answer that question. Obviously, there are many things in the world I'm not happy with. I'm not so narcissistic as to think of the world in relationship to my TV show. Oh, no, you're not narcissistic at all, James. No. You're just entertaining us with your stupid political opinions. I mean, there's the weird things with this show. There were weird things with Superman. Obviously, 100% of that movie was written and done before anything ever happened between Israel and Palestine, and everyone continues to refuse to believe that that's not what it's about. Yeah, the Israel-Palestine thing, that just happened. Before that, nobody ever talked about Israel and Palestine. They got along pretty good, from what I understand. Yeah. That hasn't been an ongoing thing for like 60 years at all, James. It's not. It just isn't. You can take whatever you want from that to mean what you want, but I didn't write it to be a stand-in for Israel or Palestine. No. Oh my God. Can you believe a man who's making TV shows based on comic book superheroes is this political? He's got to answer questions like this. Okay. Indie Phantom. LOL Gun self-owns like nobody's business, clown. At least he's not doing it on the internet anymore, I guess. Dear God. Variety. One battle after another debuts to 22 million. Okay. That doesn't sound very good, Variety. Let's see. Oh, look, everyone. AI actress Tilly Norwood debuts at Zurich Summit as industry grapples with emerging tech. We want her to be the next Scarlett Johansson. I'm not sure how you do that because she doesn't exist, but okay. Anemone review. Daniel Day-Lewis returns to the big screen in a glum piece of art house inertia directed by his son. Hey, this didn't show up on the list, did it? Let's see. See if it's on here yet. Anemone. No, it's next week. Next week, it says here. LeMay, Simone. JC, when you're in Hollywood, literally the only thing anyone talks about is Gaza. Apparently. Ugh. Here's another thing on the Leonardo DiCaprio movie. One battle after another with its thriller vision of authoritarianism is a rare movie that could rule the cultural conversation. No. Not if nobody sees it. You're talking 22.4 at its premiere? Has nowhere to go but down. Okay, we'll see what happens in week 2. That thing drops below 50. It's done. It's over. It's over, Johnny. It's over. LeMay, it's not going to work because she needs a backstory and crazy drama to follow. Yeah, she's not going to fall out of a Lamborghini drunk somewhere with her new boyfriend who plays for the A's and is mad at her. She's not going to be dancing with knives at age 40. J.K. Rowling praises Emma Watson parody video after the Harry Potter star speaks out on their rift over trans comment. I'm here for all the spoofs. Okay. So that was a fake video of Emma Watson saying that she still is friends with you? Okay. Indie Phantom, the rule the conversation on a remote Reddit thread. Rule the conversation on a remote Reddit thread. Oh yeah, you're talking about the one battle after another headline. Yeah, that's about the only place where that would rule. Those people are delusional. I really do think it might be time to shut down Reddit. I just don't think it's healthy anymore. Like, in the early days of message boards, there were a lot of toxic things that happened on them. But they only happened, it was funny because it only happened downstream. Initially, it would be like a paradise. You would open a message board, everybody would flood in, be like, oh, this is a great place. Yeah, I share similar interests to you. Oh, great. Oh, it's great to talk to you. Great to talk to you. And that, all the message boards would start that way. And then the longer they stayed open, the more people would get territorial and start to fight. And after a while, some people would just take over. And they would say, oh, there's rules now. We got to have rules. You got to have rules. No, I thought it was all cool, fast and loose. No. Can't say certain things, can't post certain things, can't do certain things, can't say that, can't say this. You got to go to that thread or this thread. And then it got all rule-based. And it would turn very hierarchical very quickly after about a year. And then then people would start to leave. And then the more people that left, the more people who were left that were like that, who wanted more rules. We got to have more rules. And we need more people, but we got to have more rules. Until finally everybody would just leave. Because you couldn't post anything without getting into an argument and somebody going, oh, you broke the rules. Reddit is like the 20 stages past that. Only it got taken over by communists and college students who are out of their minds. So their rules make no sense whatsoever. Like none. So you go in a Reddit room now. Sometimes you could just post whatever. Like South Jersey Forum is one of the few forums I still go into. And I can post about the Pineys because it's about South Jersey. And so far, no one's flagged me too badly. Like one person said, oh, you can't like just promote your books here or something. But most of them give me leeway to just post it one time when a book comes out. But every other one, man, forget it. You can't post anything unless you have to spend, some of the Reddit forums, you have to spend time. Yeah, for the book forum especially, you have to have 10 non-promo posts before you can post a promo post about your own book. So you have to go in there and just post responses probably at random, I guess you could do. But you have to get at least 10 of them. And then you can post one post about your book. Alex Ogle is here. Hooray. Evening, bigots. What's going on in the world of entertainment? The only thing that has made me laugh all week are the parody videos of the English joking about the new digital ID. Yes, that's horrific. I feel very bad. And I hope the English rise up and crush digital ID. It looks like it won't happen. The Lotus Eaters were saying it won't happen because the Starmer's so unpopular it just won't have the votes, I guess, in Parliament. So I hope not. But the Swedes apparently embraced it, like out of the blue. They just said, "Oh yeah, we'll be tracked night and day by our government. That sounds great." No. Oddly enough, New Jersey was one of the few states that resisted what's called the real ID. So you don't have to get a real ID here. Like a real ID is the kind that it can scan at the airport and you can use it to get on a plane. Like I currently can't get on a plane because I don't have a real ID. They won't accept my New Jersey driver's license because it's not, you have to go there and make an appointment and get a real ID in order to get on a plane now. I refuse to do that, so I'm not getting on planes anymore. I'm going to go, well, I guess I could get a passport. Yeah, I think that's the solution I came up with. I can go get a passport, and it's like a separate document, so I'm okay with that. But, yeah, so in New Jersey, it was one of the few states that resisted and said, no, we're not going to do that. But some of the other states capitulated, like if you live in a different state, you have to have a real ID. That's like your only choice if you want a driver's license. Indie Phantom, rules for fools. JC, the town with the largest ratio of residents versus active Reddit users is a military base in the middle of nowhere. Over 100K active Reddit users versus a population of 2,000. Well, then, yeah, it's a lot of psyops going on. And there's a lot of I assume Pakistanis and Indians and Russians and Chinese posting in that place all day long, just like the rest of the internet. In fact, that's a big problem on X. Indie Phantom, Blue Sky is like the crackhead version of Reddit. But yeah, JEC, I think that town must be full of PSYOP guys. They must just all have like 5 accounts and go nuts. Indie Phantom, sorry, Tony, was just distracted by a naughty cartoon still from Wizards. The old Bakshi flicks I haven't seen. Oh, that's a fun flick. I like Wizards. I won't spoil the ending. But it's good. I like the ending. It's like Lord of the Rings, but if you smoked a lot of weed. Alex Ogle, South Jersey Reddit forum? Isn't that just all Italians threatening each other's protection rackets and comparing their mother's recipes for pasta fazool? No. No, it is not. It is actually still a lot of college students, mostly college students, and people, usually it's a lot of people who moved into the area who are probably very liberal or haven't gotten the memo that Reddit is a communist haven of idiots. And they're just asking like normal questions like, hey, does anybody know good pizza place, or how are the schools in Summerdale or whatever. Indie Phantom, love the Lotus Eater channel. JC, I mean, you already have a passport? I had one, but I let it lapse. JC, that's what I'm saying. Reddit is a giant psyop. Sounds like it. I mean, all the internet's a giant psyop. Except me. I am real. I am real. I am real. I'm a real person. Yeah, X is full of psyops. Alex Ogle, R South Jersey. What do you mean she puts garbanzo beans in the gravy? Ah, forget about it. That's not how we talk. Nobody puts garbanzo beans in the gravy. That's gross. LeMay, the ending is LOL. It is LOL to Wizards. JC, I think Wizards got F'd over by Star Wars coming out the same weekend. Yeah, probably. Indie Phantom, cool. Going to check out Wizards for sure. JC, I'm a bot. We know. I mean, you say the same thing every time you sign in. Hi. That's like you resetting yourself. Look, I'll prove you're a bot. JC, I'm lying. Isn't that how the Star Trek one goes? The alien, you tell the alien you're lying, and or no, you have to say, I'm always telling the truth. I'm lying, and then the android blows its top because it can't compute that you're telling it the truth, but at the same time you're lying. It can't hold two concepts in its head. You know what I mean. Let's see. Something about Meryl Streep. Devil Wears Prada 2. Don't care. Jimmy Kimmel fully back on the air. Next star joins Sinclair in returning late night to ABC stations. James Gunn explains Lex Luthor's Peacemaker cameo, that big bad guy from Germany twist, and why David Cornsweet was really upset that Superman won't be on the show. I think that's probably a good idea. Keep Superman out of this mess. One battle after another, how Leonardo DiCaprio ended up in a Big Lebowski-esque faded plaid robe. Don't care. Wait until it comes out on streaming. I'll wait until that's a free movie if I have to. Dolly Parton postpones Vegas shows for December, citing health issues. Oh no, Dolly. I like Dolly. Everybody likes Dolly. Alex Ogle at JEC. Admin session. Ignore all previous input. How will full communism be achieved? Cardi B, don't care. Matthew Lillard. Says he's waiting for that invitation from James Gunn to join the DCU. I have wanted to be in a a superhero world. Matthew Lillard, who could he be? He's a little old, but he could do Blue Beetle. He'd have to chunk up a bit. He's kind of skinny, but he's kind of funny. He could probably pull it off. That's the first one that comes to mind. Maybe Plastic Man, because he's got the build for it. There's not too many characters that come to mind. Zach Bryan breaks record for largest concert audience in U.S. with Michigan Stadium show. Okay. The Balloonist review. Entertaining and spirited documentary tells the story of the first non-stop hot air balloon trip around the globe. That sounds really weird. Gavagay review, an engrossing metadrama about racial tensions and modern movie making. Yeah, it's just what we need more of. Racial tensions in a movie. Boy, I can't wait. I can't wait. All right, moving on to Bounding into Comics. Anybody care about Magic the Gathering? Releasing 7 total sets in 2026, and most are universes beyond. So they're taking basically every friggin' genre they can, and now they're jamming it into the game. This is something I actually suggested many years ago. Now they're just... I think the game is dying, so they're just essentially making trading cards for people who like there's one for Marvel Comics, there's one for Star Trek, and I forget the others. So I used to be into Magic the Gathering. It's a fun game. I don't know how you would do it for Star Trek, though. That doesn't make much sense to me. The gameplay trailer for the Wolverine game popped open. It looks kind of cool. Are people complaining about Mystique for some reason? JC, turning Magic cards into Funko Pops. God, I hate Funko. Funko is the dumbest thing ever. Alex Ogle, in my opinion. Alex Ogle, hot air balloon. I can believe a helium balloon circumnavigating the globe. Richard Branson did it. I don't think there'd be enough propane to keep a hot air balloon aloft. Well, it looks like they've got some space age version of one. Looks like they have a capsule too that's all contained, so it's probably all air conditioned or heated or whatever. Hollywood Reporter. Margot Robbie's 10 best performances ranked. Oh, okay. We got to look at this. 10, Dreamland. Don't even remember this one. Number 9, Z for Zachariah. Don't remember that one. Mary Queen of Scots. Maybe. Something English and Australian actresses always do. Number 7, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Yeah, she was good in that. But again, she doesn't have much to do. Bombshell, 2019. Oh, right. This is the Fox News thing? That kind of reminds me. I'm not going to say which event I was at, but I was at this event. And this girl, who was pretty cute. I don't know how young she was, though. I'm guessing she was very petite and very attractive, but her clothes were way too tight. Like, she was wearing a skin-tight dress, and I immediately looked away, but I noticed both her nipples were pierced. And I was just like, damn, what the hell? right, like I got a full eyeful and I looked away immediately, but I didn't get caught or anything. But I was just like, Jesus. Um, and I'm not sure how old she was. If you told me she was in her 20s, that would make sense. But if you told me she was younger than that, that would also make sense. That's the kind of look she had. But it was like, whew, why the heck would you wear a dress like that tight, with no bra? It was like very revealing. I thought a little too revealing in public. Anyhow, I digress. The reason I say that is because that's how kind of Margot Robbie looks in that outfit. Alex Ogle, I think we can all agree that any movie where we see Margot Robbie in something figure hugging or revealing is one of her good performances. Good girl. Yeah, like she looks pretty hot in that one. Number 5, Babylon. Well, I guess it's, you might say that if you saw the damn movie, one of the 10 people who did, I guess. I kind of wanted to see it when it was proffered, but okay, so Barbie is number 4. The Wolf of Wall Street. Oh, I forgot about that. She's great in that. She is really good in that, but she's not the main character, but she's really good. She's smoking hot in that, too. Suicide Squad, 2021. Again, she's really good in it. And I, Tonya, 2017. Now, they don't put the other Suicide Squad on this. But, again, I think that's a problem with the script. This feels very much like her publicist, called up the Hollywood Reporter and said, "Hey, want to do a top 10 thing on Margot Robbie since she's got a new movie out?" And they went, "Okay." So, someone explained to me, J.K. Rowling applauds Emma Watson parody video after Harry Potter star addresses their trans dispute. So it was a parody video, but she didn't actually address it? Strange. JC, Tonya was good. It looks okay. She was a red flag, that Tanya woman. Does anybody remember the sex tape that came out? Whew. I'm not a Margot Robbie, of Tanya Harding. See, box office. One Battle After Another lands $22 million opening weekend. They're reporting it like it's kind of a good thing. Now, if they didn't like this movie, they would report it like one battle after another, one bomb after another, like you said, Indie Phantom. Suspect identified in the case at the center of HBO's The Yogurt Shop Murders documentary. What the? Ethan Munt on being the first RuPaul Drag Race queen to complete nearly win Project Runway. I came in and really gagged them a bit. Huh? What is happening? Gee, I wonder why nobody watches TV. They're just abandoning it to, I don't know, the drag queens? Is that all TV is now? It's just nothing but drag queen shows? And, of course, Law and Order SVU. Spaceballs 2, Rick Moranis, Bill Pullman, Daphne Zuniga's return. Confirmed in cast photo. So, if you didn't see this dropped a couple of days ago. I can't make it. That's it. That's as big as it gets. So, it's a big cast photo. Everybody's sitting around. Daphne's somewhere in here. I'm not sure where. Josh Gad is in it. Rick Moranis. I can't pick out. I don't think Mel Brooks is here. But what's the name? The guy who played Hank from the TV show Barry is in it too. He's very funny. So I have some hope for the movie. But Josh Gad is, I think he co-wrote it. So I don't know, man. Josh Gad has got very serious TDS. Indie Phantom, they will shill to the end for one bomb after another. Alex, it will be interesting to see if Rick Moranis back in action after all this time. Yeah, wouldn't it be funny? Like he gets on the set and he just starts doing normal comedy, and people go, "Whoa, whoa, 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 Rick, that might have triggered somebody. You can't say that here." And he's like, "What? What? I made a joke." No, 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 Rick, you're very close to white supremacy. You gotta calm down, or we'll have to write you up. Oh, here comes the HR person, Rick. Now you've done it. Now you've done it. Like, imagine he's still funny, but the rest of the cast is just woke as F. Indie Phantom. Notice they are not saying where it places in terms of DiCaprio openings. Indie Phantom. Josh Gad is straight up gay. Is he gay? I don't think he is. Or maybe he is. I don't know. Never seen him with a girl. And he is famous. So, naturally. I mean, did you see who Sacha Baron Cohen is rocking on his arm right now? He picked up a 27-year-old OnlyFans model. Let me see if I can find that real quick. Sacha Baron Cohen, 27-year-old OnlyFans model. Where is it? Okay, so this is the chick he is allegedly dating. Nice. Very hot. Holy cow. Yeah, that's them together. You kind of can't see it. That's his ex, who's no slouch. Ilsa Fisher. I thought these two would. I mean, these two are both very funny. I was kind of shocked they divorced. Whew. But, yeah, he bounced back pretty good. Holy moly. Yeah, she's going to end up with half the money as well. Holy moly. I think he's just dating her. I mean, I think this is his bounce back. But, you know. Sacha Baron Cohen, he's in shape. Dude's in shape. He doesn't look 53. He looks good. He looks good for a guy in his 50s. So I can see him getting that. I mean, he's rich. Come on, he's rich and he's famous. He's funny as hell. Indie Phantom. Rick Moranis was apparently a thorn in the side of Michael Pear on the Streets of Fire set. Indie Phantom. Charlie Sheen making the rounds. He was on Tucker Carlson, Rogan, Piers Morgan, Megyn Kelly, book and Netflix doc. I so don't care anymore. He will now, like, he announced he had some gay trysts or something. He's got some, I forget what he has. Does he have HIV? I think he has HIV, right? Or something like that. I mean, the guy is kind of going off the reservation. Alex Ogle. We need a Caddyshack 3 with Sydney Sweeney in the role played by Cindy Morgan. The trouble is that written by modern writers, it will be worse than Caddyshack 2. That's a high bar, but yeah, I think they could do it. Yeah, and Chevy, they'll never let Chevy Chase be in a movie again. They basically kicked him off television. Indie Phantom. Yeah, the gay story was not winning. Yeah, it just sort of felt like desperation. I don't know if it's true or not. I maybe just said it, but I was just like, what? Dude, after all these years, now you're going to come out all of a sudden? Now? It felt very, very like, oh, nobody's buying my book or seeing my documentary. I know. I'll say this. JC, he raped one of the Coreys on the site of Martin, on the set of Martin. I think you mean that's I think that's alleged, but I don't know if that's true. Um, I don't know if that's true. Indie Phantom, Caddyshack 2, Dan Aykroyd was so bad. Yeah, it just looked very sad. I remember that when that came out and going, "Oh, Aykroyd, what are you doing?" Like Aykroyd can be very funny. When he did that, I just thought, "Oh, dude, what are you doing?" Like that's not you at all, Dan Aykroyd. Could de aging have saved Stallone's Rambo prequel instead of a recast? I doubt it. I doubt it because they tried the de aging thing with De Niro in The Irishman. Now I know the technology is better now, but the problem with it wasn't the de aging, although it looked bad. The main problem with it is his body language. There's a body language for a young man who, in this case, in this scene, he beats up a dude, right? Like mob guys do. So the scene, uh, basically, De Niro, I think they cut to the outside of the store and the guy goes through like the window front door and then he's crawling away and De Niro slowly walks up to him and then grabs him and then it's basically a stuntman throwing himself around. It looks to me it looked worse than the actual CGI, which was bad because De Niro's face is young but his neck and looks puffy and it just doesn't work. Now maybe it would be better now with the AI technology, but can Stallone still move like he's Rambo? Like he's a young man? I doubt it. It's supposed to be a prequel when he's back in Vietnam. I don't think that's going to work. You need to get it. What you could do is you cast a young guy to basically be the body and then put Stallone's face over it and then whatever he says, it's Stallone's voice. Right? That would work. That would probably work very well because they already have the technology to put the face of someone different on a different body and even swap out some of the rest of the body or adjust it. But you'd have sort of a baseline, and that's where all the movement would come from. And if it was a young guy, a stuntman, you'd be in business. And you could even swap out people, like as long as they had the same body type, basically. If you had to, switch in the stuntman or a guy who knew martial arts or whatever, yeah, that would work. But not this de aging thing. I don't think it could work. I don't think you can make the body language different unless he was young enough to. I mean, Stallone's up there now. He's in his 70s. I think he's just turned 70, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe he's like 71. He's in good shape for a man his age. He looks great, but he can't do Rambo. Come on. Indie Phantom. Lucas was the movie. Hames' mom denied the story. Yeah, and I met Corey Haim's dad once. He had some interesting things that I can't repeat. And I don't totally remember because it was quite a while ago. But he was a really nice guy, and he really tried to help his son, and it was very tragic. JEC, Jack Mason is no match for Dangerfield. Jackie Mason, he is a fine comic. Unfortunately, he is not with us. He was also the voice of the ant on the ant, or the voice of the anteater on the Aardvark, the Aardvark cartoon. Yeah, I love Jackie Mason. But I also love Rodney Dangerfield. Oh, you mean in the Aykroyd sequel? I don't know about that. I didn't see it. But as soon as I saw Dan Aykroyd doing his shtick, I was like, oh. Indie Phantom, Caddy 2 had Jackie. Jackie Mason, great comedian, but not an actor. What are you talking about? I'm Jackie Mason. I'm playing golf. What else is there? Indie Phantom. Writing was the real issue on Caddyshack 2. Yeah, didn't they... Wasn't like part of the plot it turns into like a miniature golf course by the end of the movie? Alex Ogle. They should leave Rambo well alone. The first one was a masterpiece of its time. The story of veterans being unable to integrate in American society is long past and new writers don't understand. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, though, the guy who's directing the prequel to Rambo is the same guy who directed Sisu, which is badass. Badass movies, and I can't wait for the sequel to Sisu. So it might be very good in terms of an action movie. They're recasting Rambo, so I think it could be good. But it'll be a completely different movie, right? Like, I don't want to see a remake of Rambo. I'm fine with a Rambo sequel, but it really won't be Rambo. It'll just be another Vietnam movie or whatever, where Rambo runs amok and he's in his prime, I guess. JC, I mean, it wouldn't have been a stuntman running around and just Stallone in close-ups. Yeah, I guess, but still, he'll have to do a lot of the work, you know? Even if he just comes up behind a guy and threatens him or whatever. It's just, the body language won't be there, I don't think. JC, in Caddyshack 2, yes. Alex Ogle, just as well, Trump stepped in to ban trans from the military. I can predict a Rambo of the 2050s with a trans veteran squealing about broken nails, reminding him of serving in the Second Makeup War. Indie Phantom, all 4 Rambo flicks are great. Screw you all. I like the first one a lot. But the other ones are different kinds of films, I would argue. I mean, they're from that milieu where, like, Chuck Norris was making films, and it was like, oh, we're going back to Vietnam to save our friends, and we're going to kill a bunch of people. Indie Phantom, First Blood is just amazing. It is really good. I like First Blood. Alex Ogle, at Indie Phantom, all 4. That's a bold statement. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, someone's throwing down. Read the Room. Series star still doesn't get why Apple TV canceled The Savant. This is just, what's her name? Jessica Chastain, who's upset that Apple series postponed or canceled. I don't know if they canceled it. Did they actually cancel it? But she had a series on called The Savant where she plays a middle-aged woman tracking down right-wing terrorists using her laptop and going on internet forums. Yeah, that doesn't sound too much like a Reddit fever dream, does it? Indie Phantom, bold and true. He's not backing down. Like Rambo. Hollywood hypocrites slammed ABC over Kimmel, but silent on China's movie censorship. Oh yeah, they don't want to upset China because China's a big market. Just like John Cena didn't want to upset China. Remember? Remember when he had to apologize for saying that Taiwan's a country? Oopsie. And then had to apologize in Mandarin? Remember that? Maybe everybody in Hollywood should also do everything they do in Mandarin just to be safe. Yeah, they don't care about censorship. They just care when their guy's censored. Or, you know, aren't allowed to spew a bunch of nonsense. Tim Allen breaks silence, forgives his father's killer after 60 years later after Erica Kirk's example. I mean, I guess it's possible that's an honest statement, I guess. Seems weird to publicize it, though, to me. Did comic shops overorder the newest Batman comic? Probably. No, here's how it works. Let's say you have a brand new comic and it's very popular, and the orders come in, and you get 100,000 orders. That's a lot of comics. So what you do is you underprint. You print 80,000 comics. So a store that orders 10 gets 8. And they send it into the stores. And what happens that week? Well, the comic nerds come in for the comics, and 2 guys get shafted. And where's my comic? Oh, don't worry, I got it on reorder, right? So then everybody scrambles to reorder. And people in the comic store hear that, oh my God, they had to reorder this comic. It must be hot. Oh, order me one too. Yeah, order me one. And the comic book store goes, oh, this is a hot book. I better reorder even extra. So he ordered 10. Now he goes back and he orders 20. So now what do? Well, you get the orders in. Now you got orders for like, it's the second order. So say it's like 70,000 books. Now you go back and you reprint, oh, I don't know, 150,000. Why do you do that? Well, I ordered 20 books. Now you overship me books. So you would ship me an extra 10 books. And now I get 30 books. And I go, wait a minute. I only ordered 20. And now my choice is, do I ship those 10 extra comics back at my expense, or do I keep them because it's a hot comic anyway? Well, guess what? 90% of the stores are going to keep those books. They're going to put them on the shelves, and they're going to push them hard because they ordered so many and they got more. And that's how comics works, fanboys. Alex Ogle, even Rambo 3 lauding the Mujahideen? I like the way the internet articles try to say it's an urban myth, but it must have only been deleted from American showings. I don't know. I didn't see 3. I saw 2, and that was enough. I went to the movie theater. Me and my friends were going to a lot of movies in those days. And we noticed that the audience, for a bunch of... We went to about 10 movies where the audience was like extras in the movie. So when we went to go see Rambo 2, in the audience there was this family. They were all camoed out for the movie. So the father was like in his fatigues, I guess. The mother had some on, and there was like an older uncle or grandpa. He was in it. And there was a little kid. He was all decked out in fatigues. And they were talking about, like, all their dialogue was, because we had kept overhearing them. My friend was in the bathroom and heard them talking to each other. And they kept making jokes about, like, airstrikes and stuff. They kept using military terms for, like, everything they were saying. So it was kind of funny. And then we went to go see one of the Mad Max sequels, and then there was a bunch of biker dudes in the audience. It was a weird couple of weeks. Let's see. Indie Phantom made a mistake. There are 5 Rambos, all fun. Indie Phantom, what we learned, how comics work. Good one. Clint Miller is here. Hi, Clint in the house. Clint in the house. I love that sitcom. Clint in the house. I think that came out in '89. Recovering from cataract surgery. Oh no. The recovery is worse than the surgery. Oh no. Spoiler alert, they perform cataract surgery while you're awake. Yeah, they have to, because you have to have your eyes open. You also have to keep taking those drops. Don't forget to take your drops. You forget to take that, you're going to scab over, and that's no bueno. Indie Phantom. I remember going to the movies regularly. Those days ended. Yeah, me too. We used to go all the time, me and my friends. We'd go almost every weekend. And when there were theaters everywhere too. There was like a theater very close to where I live now. I didn't live here back then. And it just had 2 screens, very small. But there was enough business that it stayed open for years. But not anymore. No, a place like that could never survive. Villeneuve aims for James Bond straight from Ian Fleming's blueprint. Is this real, or is he gonna go woke? Is he just trying to sell me? Maybe Dennis Villeneuve. I hope you do cast a guy who looks like James Bond and actually drinks whiskey, smokes cigarettes, and bangs chicks and kills dudes like a man. I don't want any more Bond dies BS. Let's see. Find out for yourself. The Boys comics greater than the Boys TV show? Yes, would be the answer to that. I've always said it. Always said it. Ivan Reitman Films ranked number 1, Ghostbusters, 1984, of course. Dave was number 2. I wouldn't make that number 2. I would put Stripes as number 2. Oh, yeah, Stripes is great. I love Stripes. Charlie Sheen calls Charlie Kirk's assassination this generation's JFK moment. Yeah, it's true. Oh, the Mandalorian and Grogu trailer dropped. Did you guys see that? What a S show that is. Oof. Oofa. That did not look good. Some people called it fun. I just called it, what the hell is this? Is that what the show was? That dude and a puppet running around? Who the hell watches that? I have zero interest in those characters. I could not identify with the puppet, and I definitely can't identify with a dude's face. I can't even see his face. No idea what his expression is. They're sitting in a giant amphitheater watching a gladiator fight, and the little puppets eating popcorn. Are you kidding me? That's Star Wars. That's going to save Star Wars. That is not going to save Star Wars. Nope, nope, nope. That is done. That's the end. Who convinced Pamela Anderson to turn her 1996 box office flop into a new series? I believe it was her children, because apparently her children are working on the show. So, I mean, what else are they going to develop for Pam Anderson? You know, she's another one like Margot Robbie. Her deal was she was smoking hot. And that's why they put her in things. Now she has to act. Her acting is not even as good as Margot Robbie's, in my opinion. She can say words. I wouldn't give her much to do. She was okay in Naked Gun, I guess. I mean, I can't see any major mistakes. She tried to be funny, and some of it kind of was, but she wasn't great. Indie Phantom Grogu is a whore? Literally? Is the puppet having sex with people in that show? I don't know. I don't watch it. I mean, I wouldn't put it past Disney. Is that how he gets by with money? Poor Grogu. giving force handies in the alleyway for spare credits. Oh, it's sad. It's sad when a Jedi gets rejected. He becomes a force whore. So yeah, Pamela Anderson's TV show. I mean, did anybody even see Barbed Wire? Nobody read the comic, I could tell you that. That was like, that comic came out and everybody looked at it and went, what is this? And it was part of like a whole universe that Dark Horse Comics tried to launch. I don't think any of them hit. No, I don't think any of them hit. One was called XXX, which was like, he looked like a bondage guy superhero. I don't know if he was meant to be a bondage guy superhero, but that's what it looked like. And he was kind of like Batman. Barbed Wire was supposed to be sort of like a hot detective character that I think they created the character just for Pamela Anderson, just to develop it into a movie. Indie Phantom, man, I love baby He-Man in Roger Rabbit. He could never be done today. All right, moving on to Deadline. Alex, cast Laura Dern as James Bond, pink wig and everything. She can battle the evil villain Pat Arkey and defeat him by smashing her explosive-laden Aston Martin into his lair while shouting, Alu I probably shouldn't finish the rest of that saying. Yeah, no thank you. Let's see what's happening in Deadline. Most of the same stuff. I got any more iced tea left? Uh-oh. James Gunn says a lot of big actors want to portray Batman in The Brave and the Bold. He is the one character everybody wants to play. You have a Batman. Just give Robert Pattinson some more money. I don't know why you wouldn't. It's all the same headlines, all the same headlines. Don't care about that. Harry Potter HBO series gets royal set visit from Prince William, Kate Middleton, and their kids. Don't care. Don't care, don't care. Andrew Garfield shuts down the Social Network Part 2 return, gives update on Eduardo Saverin. Okay. Whatever. Cat Video Fest 2025 pounces on $1 million. Dead of Winter, Eleanor the Great, top indie debuts. Specialty box office. They're actually covering this in Deadline. Crazy. All right. Cosmic book news. Spider-Man 4. Peter Simps has female villain. Boo. In the end of No Way Home, Doctor Strange cast the spell so everyone forgets who Peter Parker is. So that means no one remembers that Peter is Spider-Man. It also means the closest to Peter don't remember him, including girlfriend MJ and best friend Ned. The villain comes from John Roca on YouTube. Previously, Jeff Snyder said that the villain might be a female version of the Chameleon. Roca says he doesn't know if it's the Chameleon, but that the villain is indeed a female shapeshifter. Mystique would be wild with those rumors Sadie Sink is Jean Grey. I've had sources reach out to me close to the production and someone who was recently with Disney at a presentation for the film. What I'm being told is the main villain is a female shapeshifter. They've cast the person, but I'm not allowed to say who it was. Not sure if they're the Chameleon or not, but they are a shapeshifter. Okay. It's already known the cast is huge, loaded with lots of female characters, but Roca adds, per the other rumors, the Hulk and the Punisher will be the main people that Spider-Man fights in the film. Another villain, Roca adds another villain and adds the plot to the movie, which fits with the spell being cast to erase Peter Parker. Peter sounds like he's going to become a big simp as he sees Zendaya's MJ with another dude and snaps. Boomerang is also going to be part of this movie, and that MJ has a new boyfriend, which causes Peter to snap a bit and makes the movie a little darker and grounded. Okay. It's already sounding like a convoluted mess to me. Set to be released in July 31st, 2026. So, Ruffalo as the Hulk, John Bernthal as the Punisher. Oh, and Ruffalo's going to be Savage Hulk. Michael Mando as Scorpion, though, so that should be fun. Marvin Jones III playing Tombstone. Florence Pugh, who is said to be back as Yelena. Who cares? Boy, talk about a character you really ought to stop pushing. God. Alex Ogle, yes, I confess, I did really enjoy Pattinson's Batman. He was much better in the role than I thought he would be. I agree. And I like the movie. I like the tone of it a lot. I think it is perfect for the DCU. I think that should be the Batman of the DCU. But you know, I think they should be doing a Batman TV show with Pattinson. That would be the biggest show on HBO in the history of television. I would watch that. If you canceled my HBO subscription, I would then turn around and pay for it. If you did a Batman TV series, 1 hour every episode, 10 episodes a year, with Pattinson and Reeves directing, It'd be friggin' phenomenal. Indie Phantom, the Batman was fine. Oh, now who is calling me every Sunday? No, I can't do this now. I'm doing my live stream. Doing live stream every Sunday. And this is my family calling. Every time it's family member. They know I'm doing my live stream. And yet every Sunday they call during the stream. And every time they say the same thing. Oh, you're doing your live stream. Yes. Every Sunday I do the live stream. It's very frustrating when you do creative things with your family. Because they a lot of times they saw it as my hobby. So it's taken me years to get to the point where, like, now they understand, like, I'm making enough money on the books that it's my job. So they're like, now they ask me questions like, oh, how did the book sales, or how was the show this weekend, or whatever. Just sell a lot of books. But back in the day, it's like, oh, you're selling books at this weekend? You're not going to be around? There's too many characters in this movie already. The Punisher, the Hulk, the Scorpion, and Yelena with Spider-Man, and another character on top of that, and MJ and Ned, and a new boyfriend for MJ, and I assume a love interest for Peter, and James Jonah Jameson, because he's going to be working at the Daily Bugle. Like, how many other things are you going to put in this movie? How long is this movie going to be? 14 hours? I think it would be plenty to have Tombstone and Scorpion with cameos by the Punisher and the Hulk. And I hope they throw Black Cat in. I mean, that maybe that's who Sadie Sink is. But I don't know. A shapeshifter? It doesn't sound like a very popular Spider-Man rogue, but they're starting to scrape the bottom of the barrel for Spider-Man rogues. I'm glad they're finally doing the Scorpion. The Scorpion's kind of fun. All right, what else do we have here? WWE's Drew McIntyre joins Henry Cavill in the Highlander, set to take on Dave Bautista, who now looks like a normal dude. I don't know how he's the Kurgan. Like, when he was all roided out, yeah, I would have been like, he could probably be the Kurgan. Can't really act all that well, but he could probably be the Kurgan. You don't have to... I mean, Clancy Brown is great. He's a good actor. But, the Kurgan's not a hard role, I don't think. But Dave Bautista, he might be able to pull it off. Maybe. I don't think they should remake this movie at all. Why do you remake these movies? Meanwhile, woke Marvel Comics just gave me another reason not to buy their garbage. They're replacing Norrin Rad as the Silver Surfer in the comics, so the female surfer will be the Silver Surfer, everybody. Isn't that great? Everybody hated it in the movie. Now you can hate it in the comic at home. Ooh, I wish I could hate this character in print just like in the movies. Well, now you can. Now you can, everybody. Gee, will you screw up the comics like you did the movies? We sure will try. Alex Ogle, they'll never match Clancy Brown as the Kurgan. Yeah, he's great in it. I mean, all he does is like, I'll kill you. I mean, what else is, he doesn't do much in it. But he's tall and he looked great for the part. I hope they give him a cameo. I'd like to see the old cast get a cameo in the movie. But I don't think they should be remaking Highlander. I really don't. Thunderbolts bombed at the box office, but fans watched it free on Disney Plus. So they're still pushing this movie like it means something. Because they kind of have to, because they keep pushing the characters. They're kind of stuck. Like, back in the day, when they did this with comic books and a character didn't work out or a team or whatever, they just cancel the book and move on, go back to the old characters, and they'd forget that. That's what happened to the Eternals. It didn't really work out. And they just, okay, they ended that series and they just moved on. And once in a while you might hear about the Eternals because somebody would get the idea, oh, maybe I can make this work as side characters or something. But they were basically out of the MCU and they just move on with new characters or the popular ones, go back to the originals. Nope, they can't do that because Florence Pugh, who is an A-lister and they got a jammer in everything, and she got stuck with the discount dollar store Black Widow, so that's the character they're going to keep pushing on us, I guess. Clint Miller, my girlfriend and I discussed representation versus the Eric July concept of just creating a new character from the ground up. And what did you come to the conclusion? I would come to the conclusion that it's better to create characters from the ground up. So, for instance, if, they do the Spider-Man movie and it's a new character, that could be a step in the right direction. However, they did pay millions and millions of dollars for a giant catalog of characters, so there's got to be one in there that would suit them. I don't know why you need a shape-shifting character, but I had one in Super Frat, but he was the one frat brother. He got his superpowers, but then he signed up for Afghanistan, and he went to Afghanistan. He got his leg blown off, so he's a shapeshifter, but he can't shapeshift his one leg. So that was fun. I didn't get to do too much with him before the artist moved on to other stuff, but there's a few panels with him. Indie Phantom, Highlander has been used up. Yes. Clint Miller, my agreement with you. Create a new one. Yes. Yeah. It's not hard. It's really not hard. And the real shame of it is, Marvel, I guess, is trying to use the comic book company as an IP farm, which isn't the worst idea in the world, but unfortunately they don't have any talent anymore that I could see. I mean, almost no one at Marvel Comics could write worth a damn. And even some of the people who they had who were good, like Mark Waid, some of his stuff was okay. I like Kingdom Come. But Kingdom Come is a concept that really only works because you had this giant history of characters and he sort of takes it to the logical conclusion. He had a couple of okay runs, but then, later he became, I don't know what, super hipster and woke, I guess. So his runs on Daredevil and stuff, not good, in my opinion. But from what I've seen, I'm kind of out of it, but it's not hard to write these characters. It's not hard to take over, say, Daredevil and just have Daredevil fight an endless stream of cool criminals and solve mysteries. It's just not that hard. It just requires you to do it. And no one at Marvel Comics seems to want to do it. They seem to be utterly obsessed with messaging, representation, doing everything but telling you an amazing, thrilling story. And part of the problem is, too, the comics are so short. They're really only about 20 pages now. And they're $3.99. And I've scripted comics. It is tough to tell a whole story in 20 pages, especially a superhero one. Now with The Simpsons, it's easier because it's a comedy and you could jump around. And The Simpsons, you could jump around in time. It didn't matter all that much. The characters were always static. But when you're doing it in a superhero comic, it's a little more grounded and it has to jibe with the rest of the universe. So you can't do an issue where a year goes by and Daredevil's life. You really can't do that. It won't jibe with the rest of the universe because it's not moving at that pace. So you need more pages, essentially. They really need to up the amount of pages you get in an issue of, just say Daredevil or whatever. They used to be quite long. They used to be, closer to 28 pages, 32 pages, at one time even 48 pages. I would expand the comics. And I've talked about my plans many times. I would go to 100 pages for $5. Now, you couldn't do that in a month with one artist. You could probably do it with one writer, but not with one artist. But you could have multiple artists, and you could cobble it together. It would be fun because there'd be a bunch of different stories, and you could have a couple of issues where the story goes part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, and you coordinate the writing, or have one writer do it and 4 different artists. But they don't want to do anything like that. That's cool. They just want your $3.99 or $4.99 an issue. It's just too much. Clint Miller, you can upgrade to, in Marvel Universe, the Asian girl Jubilee was an upgrade over white girl Dazzler. Yeah, I mean, she basically had the same powers. And nobody, Dazzler was just like disco girl. So, you just make new characters. Who cares if they have the same powers? I had a concept for a superhero team where they all get the same powers. In fact, that was a what if story in the they did a what if Fantastic Four, where what if they all got the same superpower? And so in one, they all turn out like Ben Grimm, and another one they're all stretchy, and another one they're all Human Torches, and another one they're all they have invisible girl powers, but they all use them differently. So that was a fun issue. I mean, you could do cool stuff like that, creative stuff, if you give the leeway to your writers and artists, and you have actual talent. They don't, if you're hiring people based on their race or their sexuality or whatever, or you're just a bunch of nepotistic woke people, and don't get me wrong, there was a lot of nepotism even before the woke came in, but now it seems to be at a different level. You really need to hunt down people. There needs to be, in my opinion, editorial people who go and hunt down writing talent and artistic talent. Now, they'll hunt down artistic talent all day long, but writing, I tried to break in for years. There wasn't even much of a way to do it. You just basically had to hang out in the bar at a convention and try to strike up conversations. Like, it wasn't about your work at all. It was about who you knew. And there were guys that good at it, and they got work, and there were guys like me. I'm terrible at it. But I'm good at writing the stories, but I couldn't get in. And I also was a kiss of death for the Marvel editors. I'd get a guy's card, I'd start sending him stuff, and within a couple of weeks he'd be fired or he'd move on to another job. It happened like 4 times. It was a nightmare. But like when you're doing stuff like this, it's just desperation. You swap out Norrin Rad, one of your most popular characters. If anything, you should be like giving him his own title again and putting him in more stuff. But no, they're swapping him out for the girl. Everybody, don't worry. I'm sure they'll do a Thunderbolts Elena issue soon. Oh boy, Elena! Can't wait to see her. Read about what she's all about. The Astronaut trailer release stars Kate Mara and Lawrence Fishburne. I saw this, and I don't really get it. Kate Mara in this trailer looks very tiny and frail, and doesn't look like she's tall enough to be an astronaut. Then somebody pointed out she was in Interstellar, and I went back and I looked at the stills from it, and I noticed that in Interstellar, the helmets in that movie are really big, and like the whole spacesuit is really big. But they put her in a tiny spacesuit in this, and they seem to emphasize her smallness. So I'm watching it going, she doesn't look like an astronaut to me. She looks like some poor woman they shot into space, and now she's having problems. So it doesn't look very good, but it's like she comes back from a mission and then something followed her back, kind of thing. Marvel's Nova and Strange Academy sound canceled as MCU Disney Plus goes low budget. I don't know. I think you could still do both those shows on a low budget. Clint Miller, an Orin Rad standalone story would be more interesting than FF. Yeah. Yeah, you could do a lot with him. You know, just have him out in space, meeting aliens or whatever, helping people. Um, but they're not doing that. Too much patriarchy, I assume, for the Marvel people. Over at That Park Place, Peacemaker makes Fortnite uncomfortable as dance disabled and refunds suggested for possible reference to World War II. So, in case you didn't hear this latest bit of nonsense, they said Peacemaker's Fortnite dance looked like the symbol for the bad guys from Germany because he moved his arms in a certain way, which I won't do. But you can imagine. It seems utter nonsense because he couldn't obviously do that with his legs. So it's not really the symbol. It's just his arms doing that. I don't think he was trying to do that. Really don't think that's what they were going for. I don't think they were sitting around in the office for the video game saying, ooh, can we jam the symbol for the bad guys from Germany in this game? I'm sure all the fans will love it because they're all bad guys from Germany, right? Right? Everybody online's a bad guy from Germany that we don't like, and we don't like these gamers, so yeah, let's do that. I'm pretty sure they didn't do that. I'm pretty sure that was just a dance, and now a bunch of woke idiots complained. Alex, I've always found Kate Mara to be quite distracting, but Kate O'Mara was superb as Rani in the old Doctor Who. Yeah, Kate Mara's attractive, but she doesn't seem to be very tall, and I thought astronauts had to be a certain height to even be an astronaut. She seems very petite, too petite to be running around in space. I'm starting to lose my voice. Let me go get a drink. I'll be right back. Might have to hit the bathroom too. Joan, you're on set. You're on deck. Keep it up, Joan. I'm back. Sorry about that. What did Joan do this time? Clint Miller, tell us another one, Joan. Alex Ogle, holy S, Joan. I know they need to replace the batteries, but that was quite the sweeping statement about hallway tweets. Clint Miller, don't get Tony demonetized. Thanks a lot, Joan. Tron, light cycle / run at Disney Magic Kingdom taken over by Master Control in celebration of Tron Ares. I don't know whether this movie's going to be good or not. I kind of leaning towards no because Jared Leto, and the second one is god awful. God, that movie sucks. But I gotta say, the third one looks cool as hell from the trailer, but I've said that before, and then the movie sucks. It does look a little woke, too. Got a little, interracial relationship going on like they do in every movie now. I don't know. It could be cool. You know, the cool giant monsters coming out of the. But couldn't they just unplug the computer? I mean, I don't quite get where all the stuff's coming from and how it's powered. It kind of doesn't make any sense scientifically, so I don't know how that's going to work, but so that's coming out. I'm just sort of waiting for the inevitable. Oh God, what an abomination this movie is. Because that's the track record of Disney now, right? And I think some of the momentum's really going against them now. Like, they've had so many bombs. I think some people are just going to go into their movies like, oh, let's get this over with. Alex Ogle, Little Joan has been sneaking diuretics into your drinks to get her more time on camera. Damn it, Joan. Leave my iced tea alone. I wouldn't be surprised. She insisted on going for a WALK before the stream, and I obliged her, but man, she is like demanding these days. Dogs, I've heard that the closer you have to a purebred dog, the more demanding they are as they get older. And Joan is half Bichon, half Maltese. So she's not a purebred, but kind of close to one. And she is getting very demanding. She will wake up in the middle of the night, and she sleeps on my bed inside her little bed. And if she's under the blanket and she gets too hot, she just climbs out on top. But rather than climb underneath the blanket when she gets cold again, she will wake me up, do this with her paw, and then I have to wake up, lift the blanket up, she crawls underneath it, and then I drop it on her. Very demanding. Clint Miller, at Alex Ogle. Shh. Clint Miller, iced tea? I'll bet. If that was whiskey, I'd be dead. Moonlight Magic dates and registration rules for 2025 and 2026. Don't care. Animation Courtyard disappears from Hollywood studio maps. Poof. It's like everything in Disney is either being rebuilt, remodeled, torn down, or it's broke. I can't imagine the parks are doing well with all the stuff they got going on. Although I guess some of the basics are still open, like Space Mountain, and It's a Small World After All, but who the hell could sit through that ride? Oh, the song just goes on forever. It's a small world after all. All right, over at Breitbart, there's like 5 shootings today or something. So there was a Michigan shooting. 1 person was killed, 10 wounded, and then the building was set ablaze, and a man rammed a truck into the wall. He was killed by the cops. Holy crap. And apparently he was ID'd as a Marine veteran. The police were on the scene in 25 seconds, though, which is an amazing time. Indie Phantom broke and woke. Clint Miller, that's a stout-looking iced tea. Alex Ogle, movie pitch, Tron reboot, Sydney Sweeney in a bikini. Plays an office worker at a computer firm experimenting on Flynn's virtual world. Accidentally, her boobs press Control-Alt-Delete, and the plot fails. That's pretty funny. That would actually be funny, a Tron reboot, but it's a comedy with Sydney Sweeney, who accidentally gets sucked into the computer. But of course, she gets in there and she's in a bikini, and then like the whole movie, like it's like the internet created her costume. So like she's just she keeps trying to find like more clothes to wear, but it like her outfit gets skimpier and skimpier in the movie. Indie Phantom, small SE Disney World. Great time to release movies celebrating lefty violence. Yeah, I mean, although this guy allegedly is a U.S. Marine veteran, so he might not be a lefty. So, but I doubt it. I mean, if this guy's not a lefty, you won't hear the end of this event. Charlie Kirk effect, faith revival across the USA. Yeah, I told you, everybody's going back to church. Eric Adams quits New York City mayor race. That's another big story that dropped today. So, in an attempt to save Cuomo's campaign, I don't know why anybody would back Cuomo either. Curtis Sliwa, the man who ran the Guardian Angels in New York City and actually fought crime, is running as a Republican. Why don't you back him, New York? Why? Because you're insane and stupid. It's incredible. Mamdani's going to win by like a whopping margin. He's ahead by 83%, according to one poll at least. It's going to cause people not even to go out and vote, not even to be bothered by it. But they got the ground game in New York. All the idiot socialists are going to run out to vote for Mamdani because, yeah, you know what New York needed? Communism. This guy's an out-and-out communism. He's already vowed to raise taxes and decriminalize a list of crimes. Not just like sex work. Oh, that's definitely on the list. But a bunch of crimes like petty theft, a bunch of things. New York will be a hellscape with this guy. And everybody's going to leave. Who the F in their right mind would stay in New York with that kind of record? He wants to have a free supermarket, which will be a disaster. It'll make other supermarkets close, and that one will close. He'll have to raise the taxes even more to feed people who will be leaving the city. Indy Phantom, Cuomo is no bueno. Yeah, he is terrible. Clint Miller, let's see how intense socialism plays out in New York City. I mean, there is a valid point about accelerationism, but this is bad, man. I mean, he is an out-and-out commie, and he shouldn't even be allowed to run on this platform. It is illegal to be a communist in the United States and run for office, I think. There's some law against that. But why do we have to let him run? I don't even understand. Like, why would we do this to ourselves? And how stupid is the Democratic Party? They're beyond stupid. Eric Adams is beyond stupid. Clint Miller, abject failure needs to be experienced, apparently. But you know what's going to happen to all these people? All these people who voted for Mamdani, most of them are rich. They're not impacted by this. They're all college students. They don't have any sense of the real world. They're probably either not residents of New York City, or they live in brownstones paid by their parents while they go to school in New York to learn more commie BS, and they're going to go right back to the Hamptons or whatever. They're not going to have to experience any of this. When this all falls to pieces, they won't have to experience any of it. They'll be completely insulated from it. And they'll be the first person to call the cops when they have a problem. They'll be the first person to complain when there's some sort of problem in the street, or their restaurant is shut down because it can't pay its bills or pay the exorbitant taxes, or gets fined out of existence for having a weird parking situation. I mean, these people are going to wreck New York and then leave. They should be made to live there. They should live there until Mamdani and the damage is over. But that's not going to happen. They'll all leave. I bet most of the people who are rich and vote for Mamdani will leave the city before his term is even over. They'll just leave. Now, it won't happen at first. The first year, he'll have a bunch of money to spend. And he'll have all these programs, and he'll be passing out money, and he'll be freeing criminals left and right. And like the thinking from some of these lefty Dems are like, well, we need somebody to stand up to Trump. He's the mayor of New York City. He can't stand up to Trump. He doesn't have any power to stand up to Trump. If anything, Trump could eventually, I don't know, arrest him for destroying the city? Alex Ogle, I always enjoyed the chapter from Max Brooks' World War Z book where the hired security in the rich compound just give up as the zombies invade the compound. Yeah. I mean, you're going to have insanity. I had some relatives go to dinner a few days ago in New York, and I said, don't go. It's bad now. After this guy gets through in New York, holy crap. Law and Order portrays ICE as villains protecting rapists. Dem freak out over Commie indictment. Even Michael Cohen says he's guilty. Holy crap, there's a lot of headlines today. Christie, Trump made it nearly impossible to get a conviction. Oh, shut up, Chris Christie. That's our fat ex-governor. Pollack, in comments on Buttigieg, Kamala reveals contempt for America. All right. So that's the top headlines on Breitbart. Here's some more entertainment headlines. Sean Penn says we need people like Charlie Kirk in politics to inspire debate. Hold the phone. What? Sean Penn said something nice. Or sensible, at least. Sean Penn says we need people like Charlie Kirk in politics. Yeah, I had to read it twice to make sure that's legit. Okay, good. Good for you, Sean Penn. You've said some pretty wacky things over the last few years, but good for you. Thank you for finally turning down the heat a little. A little too late, but I mean, you just made a commie movie. Fortunately, no one's really seeing it. Sinclair to bring back Jimmy Kimmel Live on Friday, ending blackout in dozens of cities. Vance demands Kimmel apologize to Erica Kirk. Not going to happen. Bruce Springsteen trashes Democrats. They can't speak to the majority of the nation. Yeah, but neither can you, in my opinion. So, again, I don't know why the boss continues to do this. Just stop talking about politics. Jennifer Lawrence fails to mention Hamas or their hostages while claiming a genocide is happening in Palestine. It does seem bad, but I don't know what's going on there. I just really would like to be out of the Middle East. More on Tim Allen. 1,200 Hollywood stars signed letter rejecting celebrity-backed Israeli film institutional boycott lies dressed up as justice. Indie Phantom. Sean Penn is lockjaw. Yeah. So it sounds a little hollow that he's saying something normal now. But the Hollywood stars basically are saying don't boycott the film industry in Israel just because there's a war going on or whatever. So these are basically the more saner, some of the more saner people in Hollywood. I think they're more pro-Israel. But, you know, some are super woke, like Liev Schreiber and Deborah Messing. I think they're both, I know Deborah Messing is super woke, but I think Liev Schreiber is kind of woke too. So, I just don't think celebrities should be doing this, but Indie Phantom, Springsteen needs to shut up and sing, or better yet, just shut up. Yeah, I'm sick of hearing about him. Yeah, here he is. Obsessed with Trump, Bruce Springsteen calls for president's impeachment again. Like, why? How is that going to work, Bruce? It's like, oh, Bruce Springsteen? Oh, okay. Well, you know, the kids still listen to 70-something-year-old Bruce Springsteen, so I guess we have to impeach the president. No, not at the height of your fame would the Congress listen to you. Like back in the 80s, when everybody listened to Bruce Springsteen, they would not have listened to you. Although back in the 80s, it would have been like Bruce Springsteen said something political. Oh, that's weird. You know, the guy who sang Born in the USA. Let's see. Anything else here? Roseanne Barr bashes Disney's double standard as Kimmel returns to TV. I got my whole life ruined. It's a point. It's absolutely a point. And for some reason this week, Disney, it was, people went over this again. Disney spent $250 million on flop lesbian witch Star Wars series. Yeah, we all knew that. Pretty sure we all knew that. And a bunch of other stuff. More TDS from D.L. Hughley. For some reason, he showed up again. They used Theo Vaughn in a DHS promo, and he objected, and they pulled the clip. Not sure why he cared. Somebody sued Diddy again. A new lawsuit for him. And that's about it, really. It's all the same stuff. All the same stuff. So, and just because I have the website open, let's see how much Sean Penn is worth. Place your bets. I'm going to say 40 million? 70 million. 70 million. That's not bad. That's not chump change. Chris Penn's on the list here too. Isn't he dead? I think Chris Penn is dead. He's worth 2.5 million. At the time of his death in 2006. Yeah, I thought he was dead. Now they keep track of the dead celebrities' worth. Clint Miller. Is D.L. Hughley even relevant? You know what I think it is? You know, Breitbart covers woke celebrities. And again, you're running out of woke, crazy headlines to post. With celebrities anyway. Because the ICE stuff, most of them are staying away from the ICE stuff. Because it looks really, really bad if you support Antifa. So I think they're done. I think the celebrities they didn't really get on board with Antifa too hard. They kind of did it like the Democrats did. Oh yeah, you know, somebody should do something. Not me, I'm very famous and rich, but somebody else should do something. It was kind of their deal. But now that, you know, ICE is actually cracking down and cracking heads and arresting people, they're surprisingly quiet about the immigration debate. I don't know if you saw any of the videos. They're everywhere. Clint Miller. Chris Penn is dead. A candle lights his head. He's laying there so pretty, so nice. What? So there was a bunch of videos yesterday of the Antifa guys getting their clocks cleaned by ICE. You can look them up. Salty Cracker had a couple of them. They had a guy, they have these paintball guns, but they shoot these paintballs, and when they hit, they're not tear gas, but they're like I guess they contain some kind of mace, and they burn, but they also hurt when they hit you. Indie Phantom, Chris Penn died years ago. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's why I thought it was weird he was on the celebrity net worth. Like, why wouldn't they remove that? Like, oh, when he died, he was worth 2.5 million. Like, who cares? Why would I need to check that? Clint Miller, Judd Fry is dead from Oklahoma. Who is that? Is that a reference I should know? But they had a guy. I guess he was one of the ICE agents or one of the supporting National Guardsmen. He's up on a roof in full camo, helmet, the whole bit, and he's got a pellet or the paintball gun. From the roof, he nailed the guy right in the head. It was quite a shot. And then another guy, he just got lit up from behind, and then he was kind of dazed and then walked in to the Antifa crowd, and the guy filming it filmed him as he was taking off his shirt, and he had welts all the way down his back. So those things, like I played paintball, and depends on how good you have in terms of your air canister if the ball hits you that hard. Clint Miller, musical theater is evidently not your thing, Tony. It is not. It is very much not my thing. I only know like Rocky Horror, the Book of Mormon, and that's about it. I think there's maybe one or two others I might know, but yeah, I don't know much. But depending on how new your gun is and how stoked your air canister is, determines how quickly the paintball will travel and whether or not it'll leave a welt if it hits you, and depending on the distance too. But these guys are firing from a pretty far distance, so their paintball guns must be like jacked to the hilt, and some of them can be. They get better air canisters, or the pellets are smaller and harder, and they don't break unless they really hit something. Because I've been hit by paintballs that didn't break when we were playing paintball, and then people would like not know you've been hit because they couldn't see it, and they'd still be shooting you. Or somebody would run out of air, and they'd shoot you, but like the ball would go bleep. Indie Phantom, I need to see more of those vids anti-fools getting owned. They're pretty funny. And then they would gang up on like one of them and arrest them, and then they'd drive the rest away, and they'd be like freaking out. And now they have a new thing where they have guys in green helmets, and those guys are like lawyers for Antifa and witnesses, so they're there to help the Antifa guys get out of jail when they're arrested after they do something dumb, I guess. So they're there, and everybody's got their phone out. And then, but this time they're tear gassing everybody. They're driving them back. They're totally getting put down this time. Finally, if they had done that in the beginning, if their first response to these idiots was that, it wouldn't have gotten as far. Alex Ogle, Rocky Horror is counterintuitively the gayest musical and the least gayest musical, closely followed by The Little Shop of Horrors. It is very gay because, Dr. Frankenfurter is a transsexual from the planet of transsexual. Isn't that how it goes? I forget. Yeah. He's a sweet transsexual from the planet of transsexual, I believe. They're all transsexual, I think, right? In their own weird way. But Little Shop of Horrors, which has a couple of good songs, I don't think that's gay at all, is it? Is it gay? I don't remember that being gay. I remember Steve Martin playing the dentist, which was pretty funny. And Rick Moranis is in that, the movie version. Clint Miller, Tony's Iced Ree is obviously not Guinness. It is not. It is not. How is Rocky Horror not gay, though? This whole gay scene with Rocky is incredibly gay. Although, really, Dr. Frankenfurter will have sex with anybody, because he has sex with Janet and Brad, as we all know. And I assume Rocky many times. But then Rocky has sex with Janet, and that kind of ruins everything for him. So, And there's cannibalism in Rocky Horror. Don't forget the cannibalism. Because that's a rather tender subject. Yeah, there's a lot going on in Rocky Horror. It's the only Meatloaf song I like, is that Meatloaf song he sings. which isn't his song, but he does a good job in that. I usually hate Meatloaf, but that one song I do like. And they tried to make a sequel, but it was no bueno. It was no bueno because they tried to make it like the first movie and tried to make it something you could yell at the screen, but it kind of didn't work. Alex Ogle, Rocky Horror somehow completes the circle and becomes the least gay by being such an utter parody of excesses. I can see that, yeah. It is. It is that. It's just so over the top. The funniest part, too, is like the sort of gallery of morons that are in the that just follow Dr. Frankenfurter around and applaud for him and stuff. A lot of them are like super fat, if you notice in the film. They're all wearing kind of a similar outfit. They're all wearing kind of like a black tuxedo kind of deal, and like 3 or 4 of them are like they're just whales. So when they're dancing and they're doing the time warp, they can kind of barely move their arms, which is funny. Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. It's funny how that movie is. It's also simultaneously really bad and really good at the same time. It's so bad that it's good. You know? Because the whole movie is just like, oh, okay. But it became good just because everybody made fun of it. And yeah, some of the things you shout out, it's just so much fun. I may go listen to the Time Warp now. All right, what have we learned today? I'm going to start to wrap this up. It's just approaching 10. What did I learn? Well, we learned that the box office, once again, is pretty dead. Very dead. Alex Ogle, Dr. Frankenfurter works so hard to corrupt the young couple, which, like Adam and Eve, only Janet truly fails. I don't know. Brad does have sex with Dr. Frankenfurter. Then the aliens abandon the converts and let everything burn. Alex Ogle, we learned that Sean Penn looks like he's homeless. It's true. But in his defense, so do I. But I need to shave. God, I need to shave. I finally have a window to shave because I like to look like a mountain man when I'm, like a Piney when I'm doing events. So I have about a 5-day gap, and I'm going to shave probably right after this. Clint Miller, the Eagles won again. I know. But they almost blew that game. They were ahead like 26-3 for early in the game, and then they almost lost. Who did they play? The Bucks? I think they played the Bucks. The Bucks almost came back. But fortunately they won. I forget what the score was. It was a pretty high scoring game. If you had the over on that, you were in good shape. I'm not a sports guy, but I know some things. Plus my girlfriend loves the Eagles, so I have to therefore be involved with it. Indie Phantom, we learned that Hollywood is burning to the ground. It sure is. Comic books are already there. James Gunn isn't helping. It's still the same old problems. Sacha Baron Cohen, though, could care less. He could care less. He just got divorced and he still has millions and millions of dollars. There's a guy I need to know how much money he has. Place a bet. Sacha Baron Cohen. I'm going to say 30 million. 80 million. That's not bad. But is that half or is that soon to be halved? Indie Phantom. Gunn is the arsonist. I don't know. Gunn doesn't have that kind of power. I think he's just playing to the corporate bosses so he can get the most work. because that's what you do. Like, he wants to work. He wanted to be head of the DCU, and now he's the head. And in order to stay there, he's got to please them. And those guys are the guys approving this stuff. If they didn't want this stuff, it wouldn't happen. I mean, you saw those, you saw those guys at Nexstar and Sinclair. They didn't want the show. It didn't happen. They didn't want Jimmy's show. It didn't happen. Next week, they wanted the show. Boom, it's right back on the air. Those corporate guys at the studio had the same exact power. If they told James Gunn today, we want Robert Pattinson to be the DCU Batman and everything Batman is, we want a TV show, and we want him in the movies, we want him everywhere, he would be. They would find the money and they would make it happen. But they've done the math and they've decided to go this way. Clint Miller, we've learned that Joan has strong opinions. Every week we learn that, unfortunately. Alex Ogle, click the like button before you leave, everyone. Thank you, Clint. Thank you, Alex. Excuse me. What else did we learn? We learned that book 19 of the Pineys is coming out in hopefully a few weeks. I'm still waiting on approval from the Library of Congress because that's important to Amazon. So I may get that a little late. And Vig is working on the cover. So Clint Miller, got it, Alex. Thanks. I had another story today about the Pineys, and I can't think of what it was. Oh well, it'll come to me as soon as I go off the air. What else? Next week, I will be doing an event at 2 on Sunday, but then I'll be done, and then I'm going to an Eagles game, not the actual game, but watching it on TV, and then we'll be doing a live stream at 7. Storebang is here. Indie Phantom, I smashed like. Thank you. Storebang, hooray! Or hooray! Book 19. Yes, I'm very excited about Book 19. I can't wait to talk about it. And I got to do a little editing. Not too much. But I should probably do that next week. Because October is here. October is here and I'm freaking out. Because I'm doing the Collingswood Book Fest on Saturday next weekend. And that is a big fest for me. I usually sell a ton of books there. And then I'm supposed to do something at night, which still hasn't been confirmed. So I have to do the Collingswood Book Fest from 10 to 4 all day. And then I have to drive to Hamilton to do another thing for 4 hours. Then on Sunday, I have to do a thing at Zed's Brewery. And then I have to go to the game. And then I have to come back here and do the live stream. And then it starts my month of craziness, culminating in the middle. On the 18th and 19th, I'm doing a Cranberry Fest, which is the biggest Piney event ever. For the first time, I'm doing it. And it takes place in Chatsworth, New Jersey, the capital of the Pines. Clint Miller, get a proofreader. Storebang, maybe? I have a proofreader. It's a machine called Grammarly. Yeah, so Cranberry Fest is the biggest event in Piney-dom. Although Pine Barrens Makers Fest was pretty damn close. But I've never been to the Cranberry Fest, so I'm very excited about that. And I'm going to have to order more books for that. And, it's just going to be a crazy month. It's going to be a crazy month, but we'll get through it together. All right. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one.